Hello everybody and welcome back to the Summoners War European League Day number 6. Wow, we've managed to get to League Day number 6 and I am of course Sam, and joining me is a recent Siege Battle winner in Mr. Smiser.
Welcome guys, looking forward to the matches of today. I hope you're all excited. We got some very big names and some very big matches here today.
Oh yes, we have. We've some hard-hitting players that are going to have to really pick things up and get some good answers on the way in order to get themselves high enough in our leaderboard, say, to get through to those playoffs, which are coming very, very soon, which we're all very excited for, just as much as you are, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely have a whole bunch of people that are very high and can get a very comfortable spot getting into that last week, or a few people that actually have to work quite hard to maybe get to a comfortable spot for those playoffs.
Definitely, and as you can see in front of you, can see we're all the way through to League Day number 6 right now, which is crazy. We're so close to those playoffs, and they've been going through all of the players the same point system as always, a best of 2, in order to get 1 point on that leaderboard. That leaderboard is then going to be split to the top 8, progressing all the way through to the playoffs, which will be happening very, very soon, where they will have the chance to go against a knockout tournament with some different best of, so best of 5 all the way through to best of 7, in order to see who is going to be crowned our Summoners War European League champion and get their hands on part of the cash prize of 10,000 euros, which is a very nice treat to be getting before obviously all of our SWC things that are going to be happening further down the line, say. So this is something that they've all been working towards right now. Who have you been your standouts so far in the Summoners War European League?
I would absolutely say that, of course, we have the big names up there, like Obabo's high up in the leaderboards at the moment, but someone that we haven't seen in SWC so far that much, maybe he was there in qualifications, and I can actually see that over here right now as well, is Tito Golet, because in the end, Bafix and Zambi Sepp already played their matches. Guts also played his matches already. But Tito Golet didn't play his matches yet, so he can definitely get to a very comfortable spot right now to actually get towards a very favorable position for those playoffs.
Yeah, you can see all of the players right now. We've even got some people down at the bottom which you wouldn't usually see there, right? Say like we've got a Pink Roid, we've got Glorious, we've got a Hansel-lot. All of them quite low actually currently in the standings, but they are going to be playing today in order to try and progress as high as they possibly can in that Summoners War European League. Maybe just to mention as well, say we've got some obvious monsters that have been used during the whole of this tournament. Some of the most picked at the moment are kind of familiar faces and names that we're saying all the time. We've got Moore, Cigar, Chandra, Eshe, all of them with actually very high win rates. But today, let's see who can use them to the best. You can see the matchups that we've got coming up as well later today. Any that jump out to you?
Well, I would definitely say like Nice, Smiser, and Hansel-lot, those are the guys that are currently on the lowest of the leaderboard, so they have to progress pretty well. However, Nice, Smiser actually has to play against Hansel-lot, which is one of the highest ranked players, Pink Roid, which is the highest ranked player in Europe, and Obabo, so he definitely has a very difficult week.
Yeah, that's how it ends up in the Summoners War European League. You can see of those matches, and it is going to be tough for these guys to make sure they're facing against the strongest opponents. You have to beat the best in order to be the best, right? And that's exactly what the guys are going to be proving today during these matches. Say, I'm so excited to get already into all of these matches. Looking forward now to our very first match, which is going to be between Glorious and Hansel-lot. You mentioned before, Hansel-lot currently second in terms of the leaderboard for SWC qualification right now in Europe, against Glorious, two players that we know quite a lot of. Who do you favour going into this kind of matchup?
Well, I would say that Glorious is currently, I saw him play today, he's kind of on the edge of G3, so not really on the spot for qualifying for SWC, but it's definitely always a player to fear. He has a lot of those LDs, but those LDs can be banned out, and I think Hansel-lot has a more of like an all-round play style, where it matters a little bit less for him to play on the pre-ban than it matters for Glorious. So I will give the upper hand to Hansel-lot in this case.
I mean, we're going to have a look now. We're going to see Glorious right in front of us right there. Currently sitting quite low in the leaderboard as well at the moment, but it's chance now to try and gain some more points. You can see there Shan was his favourite unit. He's been using it to great benefit during the Summoners War European League. So do you think that could be crucial for him in this matchup against Hansel-lot?
I think his Sean is always crucial. It's definitely one of those players that absolutely loves his LDs and likes to use it to the fullest potential. He's also one of the players that actually does manage to use them to the full potential. However, sometimes it's maybe not the most fitting unit. So I would honestly say I don't really expect Glorious to switch anything up, but I think most of the players sitting here today, playing today, won't expect Glorious to switch anything up. So if he does, might be a big surprise. Let's see.
Let's see what he's got cooking, right? Because if he can change things up against a Hansel-lot, who has a lot of LDs in his box, say, in order to use. He's only used a limited amount so far, but really he does have still a box in that lineup. Let's see if he can make great use out of that. Maybe just to mention there as well, say, Han, his favorite unit at the moment, having played more than 10 sets, is on an 80% win rate in the Summoners War European League. How strong is that unit, and do you think Hansel-lot will be looking to use that as well?
Yeah, I definitely do think he will be looking to use that, and I'm not surprised. Like Han, like if you calculate all of the damage he does, plus the cycling, plus a proc in there, plus like just going full back for the cycling, or as Hansel-lot has been using it before with the Ella, where you can cycle like back and forth and you get so many simple solutions in, which is that third skill, which is that a lot of armor rig, which is that a lot of multi-hit. It's just such a strong unit, and I would definitely classify that as the strongest single target damage dealer that we currently have in the meta.
Yeah, here you go. Then you see them, Glorious and Hansel-lot. These guys have played each other a total of 30 times over the past 2 seasons. Glorious currently sitting on an 80% win rate against Hansel-lot, say. So let's see exactly how this is going to end up. In this relegation battle, will it be Hans or Shan's time to rise? Let's see as we get into our Summoners War European League day number 6, match 1, set 1, and you can see already, say, that respect banner's come out against the Shan.
Yeah, definitely those respect bans, and I think we have seen that a lot for the Summoners War Europe League. Everyone is just pretty much banning out the signature unit of the other player, and I think that's also the best way to do it. Like, if you have multiple rounds again and again at each other, that is maybe the part where you start like banning different things that you just don't want to play against, but in this case, we see a lot of those signature bans. First up picked, well, Cigar, we have seen a lot of those, but we see Glorious looking in a early Oliver plus a Chiwu.
Yeah, Oliver Chu, Cigar, again, if it's Hansel-lot, we know it's going to be a Cigar first pick. I think it's at least 80 or 90% of the matches so far in the Summoners War European League. Escher being followed up there for Hansel-lot as well, say. Is he going to be contesting that first turn? Maybe another speed lead? Yes, with the Chandra. Yeah,
with the Chandra and Escher, it's definitely contesting for speed leads. The Hansel-lot in general doesn't like to give away first turn. However, there's that Tianlang, and Tianlang is actually a super hard counter on that Han as well. It just makes the unit a lot worse, and we have a Sonya, so we got definitely a lot of speed contesting on the side of Glorious. I'm liking this draft.
Let's see then, Sonya. We had it in the past where there was some Sonya built monsters on the other side to oppose obviously that crazy skill 2 that it has. Oh, Eleanor coming out.
Okay, going for full counters, going in with the Eleanor, going in with the Leo, so that's actually countering the Sonya fully. So even if the Sonya is probably going to be let through on the match, it is going to be a difficult unit on this position right now. Glorious can be looking at like, okay, am I going to leave that Leo on the field, or am I going to remove that Leo? And then based on that, he should pick that last pick. I would say if he picks that Chung Pang, he's probably going to remove the Leo off the field.
Let's see then. They have locked in the Chung Pung on the side of Glorious right now. Let's see if Leo is going to be getting banned out, or is he also scared of any of the other units on the side of Glorious? Say, who do you think's being banned out on Glorious's side?
Glorious' side, I would say the Tianling is definitely a difficult one. However, the Tianling in combination with the Oliver makes the Oliver a little bit worse as well. So the team where I started to like it a lot from Glorious' side, I'm not too sure about it right now. We do have the Sonya banned out, and we do have that Leo banned out.
Here we go then, we're going speed leads into this one right now. The Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 1, Set 1 between Glorious and Hansel-lot. Escher will be taking that first turn.
Yeah, Escher having that first turn, but if you boost, does the Tianlang take over? Tianlang does take over. Can we get some strips? Decided not to go for strips because he actually does know that his Chiwu moves next as well. Chiwu moving next, Chung Pang moving next. We got... Oh, the only thing that I saw that we didn't increase, which I was purely looking at, was that Eleanor. That Eleanor, the moment it starts getting turns and it gets those cyclings up, it's definitely very devastating, and I'm not 100% sure if Glorious actually saw that.
Let's see, he's got the beneficial block against it as well, but at the moment Tianlang can come in with that skill too. Is he going to get some despair stuns? Say,
oh, it doesn't get any...
because it's violent.
It doesn't get any stunts also from the skill itself. It could stun, but it could also absorb attack, but it didn't do neither. It would have given a chance to the Oliver to take a turn, but in this case, this pony is very fast, and it's going to take a lot of immunity all the time right now. We still have this Oliver for a little bit more resets, but how much more can he do until the team of Hansel-lot gets online?
Yeah, because Hansel-lot now can have those provokes to try and limit the amount of turns that Glorious will be taking on his own accord. Chandra right now going in with that skill 1. Looking to stun somebody, maybe, say.
Trying to stun that Oliver, that's definitely an interesting one, because the Oliver was not going to hit your pony anytime soon. Pony is taking a lot of damage, especially with that sleep on it. Can the TL take it out? TL can take it out, and no more pony on the field.
No more pony. Chung-Pung still has skill cool times going, but that addition will help to get him back online on the next turn, say.
Yeah, definitely will make it that he has to do a lot of damage, but this is crucial for Hansel-lot right now. He can go for the hawk, but he can mainly go for that slow. If he gets good slows right now, managed to land most of the slows, but not on the target that you expected, because you expected not to land on the wind units. Did land it on the two wind units, but didn't land it on the TL. That's now stunned by the Chandra as well.
Yeah, that defend coming in clutch for Chandra to get that stun on the Tianlang. He's been taking a lot of turns and getting another stun on that Chiwu. Is it tables turning for Hansel-lot right now, say?
It's definitely possible, but in the meantime, he also missed on the Oliver, both for the pushback and that provoke, so Oliver can do free reign. However, this is still the moment where you have speed buff. You have to start provoking that Oliver, otherwise Oliver can do Oliver things, as we call it.
He has, but he decided not to go right there. First skill, can he get a provoke again resisted from that Oliver, say?
Yeah, definitely still that slow on the Oliver is helping out a lot, but if this Oliver gets fully online where it starts cycling and pushing back all of those attack bars, it could be very annoying. However, that Oliver is not really showing too much damage, so it's definitely a tanky Oliver that doesn't do too much, but that TL does do a lot with a lot of damage on that skill 1 over there with more than 2Ks per hit.
Yeah, and confirming that kill from the Chiwu right now. So we kept saying it all the way through the European League. Confirm your kills. You don't want to leave it down to the end. Chandra now with a skill 3. All the slows.
Once again, all the slows, and this time it's very crucial. Where do you place the provokes in this try? Trying to confirm the kill as well. Didn't manage to get it. Once again, TL dropping in a lot of damage on the enemy side.
Yeah, Oliver now skill 2 is available. Is he going to be looking to reset into that Chandra and does land it safe? Could be Tianlang against the rest of them soon.
Ooh, TL doesn't do enough, but in this case, do you go for the stun? You kind of have to go for the stun. Does not manage to get the stun. In this case, you actually have to hit the Scar because Scar has skill 3 up. Does get countered. However, that counter is not going to do too much because of the wrong element.
Yeah, now Tianlang can follow up with it. Skill 1 defense break, killing that Chandra. Cigar versus these two, say.
Yeah,
nope.
Nope, that's not gonna happen, but the TL definitely here. We did see that the TL got reduced in damage on that skill 2. It's no more as much damage scaling from HP. However, that skill 1 on additional damage artifacts with that armor break hitting multiple times, it just dishes out a lot of damage. And most of the damage that was put out throughout this match was actually still that TL.
Yeah, maybe to mention there, say for you, Tianlang at the moment has currently played 15 sets in our Summoners War European League, sitting on a 67% win rate. So he is very, very in terms of win rate when he's being picked by the people. Maybe that's why there's a respect ban coming out on the side of Hansel-lot, and Glorious taking away Hansel-lot's first pick from every match we've seen Cigar.
Yeah, definitely 2 very good bans over there. That's TL just makes it that Hansel-lot cannot really play his normal game. Glorious very quick to answer with a Oliver. However, does Hansel-lot go back to a Chandra without a Cigar right now, or does he rather go for maybe a Finesse style?
Let's see, he's picking in that Yonghon at the moment. We know recently, changing it out now for a Chandra instead. Yonghon actually doesn't have such a good win rate in the European League. And partnering up with a Zima, say.
Ooh, Zima, definitely an interesting unit. It is interesting to see. I'm not sure about the win rates within the SWEL, but the win rates overall in all of G3 for Zima is actually not that high. However, the unit itself does have a lot of potential in the skills. The issue is, it still has to land on all of them. There's a lot of resistance checks to get everything correctly landed, so let's see what these 2 gentlemen figure out on this speed battle that we see over here with more speed leads and more speed units being locked in.
Yeah, let's see then. Glor deciding to maybe change things up there then, say with a Seimei.
Yeah, Seimei is definitely an interesting one. Seimei is more if there's a lot of debuffs on the enemy side. However, the only debuffs that I see on the enemy side is that Zima. So there's not too much debuffs going on over there. And also Veromos, once again, very strongly against debuffs, which I think there's just a Zima that you're countering. So for sure, the Zima is not going to be banned out. But let's see what the bans is on this one.
Yeah, interesting right now. And then obviously a last pick Douglas there just to change things up. We know that that unit can be a 1 versus 4 in the right situation. That is why it's being banned out right now. Shan being banned out on the side of Glorious. Both of them taking those 33% speed leads as we're going to be getting into our Summoners War European League day number 6, match 1, set 2. Can Hansel-lot reclaim a point against Glorious here, say, with Yonghon taking that first turn?
Yeah, we have Yonghon taking that first turn, and because there's a lot of units off will, well, we do have that slow from the Chandra as well, which is also slightly going to be counted. However, I would prefer to see more follow-up units on the side of Glorious to be able to capitalize on that Busa push-up, but it seems that that's not really going to be happening anytime soon. We do have the debuffs coming out right now, but Hansel-lot could also decide to just simply not to, because in the end, if you have a Sebe on the field, the enemy decides whether you're going to heal or not. In this case, Hansel-lot is nice to say, you're allowed to heal.
Yeah, I think he's also doing it for the potential silence essay, stopping any moves coming out on the side of Glorious in this next turn. So he's going to be getting another round of turns, his Hansel-lot, but how much can he then set up for the damage for it, say?
Ooh, we have a very strong violent proc. Able to take out a few units for just taking turns for a little bit longer on the side of Hansel-lot. We do have full HP back again at the side of Glorious though, so the healing is definitely kicking in the moment it has to. And we have this Oliver double despair stunning. This Yeonhong twice already denying those turns.
Yeah, and if it can't get online, it's not going to be able to do any of the heals. Say the skill 2 damage that could come out is being prevented as well. And sleep just add to the cruelty.
Yeah, definitely that sleep is adding a lot. We haven't seen too many stuns on the side of Hansel-lot at all, because he does also have that despair unit in the Chandra. Not doing so much for him in this match so far.
Yeah, it seems like the same Veramos right now. He's just going to keep Glorious's side very, very healthy and chipping away that damage on the other side, say.
Yeah, definitely chipping away a lot of damage, and the healing so far actually came in clutch, because the damage output on the side of Hansel-lot hasn't been too much, because he's just not been taking the right turns at the right units at the right moments to actually lock in that high damage potential that he does have, because he keeps getting stunned by that Oliver.
If that Oliver keeps stunning, is not going to be fun for Hansel-lot. They just can't take any of the turns, say, and now with Veramos putting up that life protection, maybe just to get the skill cooldowns down.
Yeah, it's definitely for those cooldowns to get more stuns in, and stun locking is what Glorious has been doing in this whole match. Definitely so far very well, so if we can get more stuns in here, that will probably, and another additional turn on that Veramos, so that will probably make it that Hansel-lot has a very difficult spot to come back in this match.
Definitely, there's not really any single target damage coming out from there, say, anymore, with the Zima not being able to get online and just being controlled by Veramos. Same healing and an additional turn, again, stuns everywhere.
Yeah, once again, there's a lot of stuns, there's a lot of those additional turns that you do like to see if it's on your side, you do not like to see as much if it's on the enemy side.
Definitely. Oh, and another stun to add from the Oliver right there. So this is stun central in this League Day 6 match 1 set 2 between Hansel and Glorious. Wow, and it's surely only time now for Glorious to confirm that win with a 2-0 win over Hansel-lot, say. It just proves that despair stunning and not allowing your person to get online can be very strong at the moment in Summoners War.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with the despair being changed, where despair doesn't care about glancing, so therefore also doesn't care about elements, is where you can lock a lot of more units into despair. On the other hand, we did also see violent on the Veramos, which in a lot of cases is actually a triple nemesis. In this case, it was probably a fire nemesis. But it definitely did work out to get those additional turns and get all of those stuns locked in even more when you only had like one despair unit on the field.
It came in clutch for him, in all honesty. He was against the Zima. You know there was a lot of debuffs coming out there, say, as well. So it just allowed Veramos to keep healing, keep cleansing, taking way more turns. We've seen, again, just how strong that unit can be when it's used in the correct position in Summoners War. As we now move on, say, we're looking forward now to our second match of this League Day number 6. It is going to be Smiser versus Obabo. Smiser currently sitting at the very bottom of our Summoners War leaderboard, but there are 6 points up for grabs for him today, say, which could really boost him up in terms of the league. How do you think he's going to have to mentally come into this match?
I think he has to go for, like, as we call that, if you have like bad sessions in RTA, go for a mental reset. I definitely do think he needs a mental reset. Just go for like clean slate, just say like, okay, whatever happened. I have to start winning right now. And well, it's somewhat of an issue to have that as a start when you're facing off Obabo. So let's see if the man can make it work.
Yeah, we know he's going to be coming up against a very, very strong opponent in Obabo. Actually, for Smiser, 2 of his most favorite units, both unicorns that he's been using, the Diana and the Eleanor. haven't had a great win rates. I think they're both sitting at under 40% overall in this Summoners War European League. So let's see what Obabo has to answer with that. We know he's got some very, very well-roomed monsters with some crazy artifacts. We always speak about it, but what about that Etna? Do you think it's going to be played today?
I definitely would say that Etna is going to be played, but I also mentioned it before, ban it out. Because if, like, it's the signature unit, like, people could say, like, oh, the Han or the Bella is the signature unit of Obabo. It's actually not really. I would more say that on the Etna. And we have seen a lot of those signature units being banned out. We have seen a few Etna bans, but let's see if Smiser goes for that, or he has a trick up his sleeve with a pony that actually makes it where the Etna skill 2 is less likely to crit, therefore doesn't cycle as much, so it is a decent counter to it. But let's see if he actually bans it out, or maybe Obabo bans out your pony. Who knows?
Yeah, let's see exactly how they're going to get into this, how they're going to face off against each other. Actually say they haven't played each other over the past 2 seasons, so we have no idea how it's going in. They do have some similar units in terms of in their boxes as well. But the match of confusing names for a caster, it's an Eleanor, or is it an Eleanor? No, it might be an Eleanor in this case in our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 2, Set 1 between Smiser and Obabo. So let's see what the pre-bans. It's going to be a Dooman and the Eleanor as well.
So I definitely do like the respect pre-ban on that Dooman, because Smiser likes to take turn 2. And taking turn 2 with bruiser units, healing units, that Smiser that he really likes to play, his name is literally Smiser. Against the Dooman, it's definitely very difficult. But he does also know that Obabo does not like to play against Heigang, so therefore locks in that Heigang very fast.
Yeah, we've been seeing, actually, I don't know if you've been watching recently, say Obabo has been trying with the Heigang to see how he can play against it, how he can work with it in these positions. So right now it's being picked against him. Decided now to go for an Escher and a Chandra there, locking in a speed lead and a very high speed, base speed unit there.
Definitely interesting to see Obabo go for Escher and Chandra. Definitely something he hasn't been doing on stream, so I definitely do think that he re-runed a bit for this match specifically. But still going on to high base speed units for high damage. Smiser, looking at that Antares, it's slightly of an early Antares because Obabo still has 3 units to draft in left. However, does pair it up with a Valantis.
Is that signaling that the Antares already there? Say, bring that Etna because Antares is going to eat her alive as she gets into the match. But let's see, the Valantis partnered with it. Does Obabo maintain going for that turn 1, do you think?
I definitely do think so. If you go Juno and Miles right now, you counter everything on the side of Smiser, and most likely also everything else that he could lock in on a slot 4 and slot 5. He does have that Juno locked in already. He does go for a Beowang, which is definitely a very strong unit as well, but I think that a Miles would have maybe been giving it a little bit more edge of like damage on the other side as well. But in this case, we have Smiser going in with a Marcher, trying to take out those units, such as the Juno, such as the Meowang, but you probably need a little bit more damage because some of your damage is probably going to be taken out as well.
Exactly, it's all about... Ooh, Khan! Is it Special League yet, sir?
It is not Special League yet, and it's actually a Special League unit that we're probably not even going to see in this Special League because current Special League is going to be without LD5s, or without LD, so no LD3s or 4 either. Definitely a very interesting unit. Haven't seen this at all at any SWC so far as I know. And we have an Abelio picked up for Obabo's side, so definitely going a bit around the Bruiser side as well. Definitely very strange drafts from the both gentlemen, and I'd like to see where this is going.
There we go. Khan being banned out, respect ban against the Abelio as well, coming out on the side of Obabo. Going in with a crit rate lead from the Antares and a speed lead on the side of Obabo. We're getting into our Summoners War European League Day 6. Match 2, set 1 between Smiser and Obabo. Escher is going to be able to boost up the rest of his team. Let's see who he sets up, say.
I definitely do like that Smiser is full on will, because the full on will makes it where there's just not enough for the Chandra to go in. So in this case, we have the Marshal taking a turn, not doing as much damage. Probably missed the critter on that second hit on that Monkey. So Monkey taking it back, not losing that much HP while healing a little bit on that skill 2.
Let's find out then. Chandra has skill 2 available right now. Who's he going to look to defend? Going for that first turn and getting a stun right there, say. But Heigang on the field, going to boost up his team.
Yeah, definitely boosting up the team. Antares so far has not been doing too much, so we're definitely going to be looking at the Antares if it's actually starting to get online. We do already have a dismount Masha, so that's definitely not going to be helping Smiser. But if that Antares finally starts getting online, or you get some damage in, ooh, that is a very tanky Monkey, or that is a very low damage Masha, because the Masha is actually not doing anything to the Monkey at all.
No, he's not. And Antares still hasn't taken a turn yet. Takes a natural turn, say, at the moment right now. Going for that skill 2. Does get a stun on the Escher.
Does get a stun on the Escher, but still, there's not too much happening. Okay, Antares finally taking in some turns. You got the attack buff right now. Goes for a triple hit. This is a lot of debuffs. Definitely some nice absorb over there. And this might actually be the moment where the Masha, even if it's in human form, still does a lot of damage. But that's not possible if you get this fire stunned.
Yeah, he's managed to dismount the Marsha right now, and it is a source of very big damage, as well as that Antares. Antares needs to get online to get rid of that monkey soon, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely, but also that unit is not going to do it anytime soon, because once again, also stunned by that Juno. Juno's showing a lot of value in this match.
Yeah, she is against that Volantis. We know the debuffs are coming out. She's going to be healing. Even though she's stunned right now with that speed buff, she's going to be online very soon. Yeah,
definitely. It's, very unfavorable for Smiser to get those right stuns at that right moment, and very favorable, of course, for Obabo, because Smiser was trying to do the same thing with the stun. Stunning that Chandra would have definitely switched up this match by quite a bit, but in the end, if the Antares is down, Smiser doesn't have enough damage, and that first victory goes to Obabo.
Obabo taking it the first point against Smiser right there. So maybe just to mention as well, Juno currently in the Summoners War European League has played 28 sets. She's won a 57% win rate as well. So it shows that in those right positions, usually against a Volantis, it can be very, very strong. They say, what do you see as a pre-ban in answer to that last set?
I would definitely say that Obabo played a very different style than he normally does. So even banning out that Ethna right now might not even be the play that Obabo goes for. Or maybe Obabo was playing on a set that he would say like, okay, first round I'm gonna go this. Then in the second round you would pre-ban one of the things that I used in the first round. And then he goes back to a normal style. So I think pre-banning for Smiser in current position is very difficult. On the other end, for Obabo, he could be like locking out some of the comfortable units that Smiser likes to look a lot there, or likes to look in a lot. He could even be banning out that Smiser or something like that. One of those bruiser units that Smiser definitely likes to use. But you can definitely see by the time that they're taking for this pre-ban, that they're definitely thinking like, okay, whatever happened in the previous match is not going to be saying too much about the current match. So for the pre-bans, it's actually a lot more difficult one than we would have seen with the previous one. And we have a third pre-ban. Interesting.
I don't think Verd has been pre-banned yet in this Summoners War European League at the moment. So that's the first for us and our stats, which we love. Hagan being banned out on the side of Smiser, knowing Obabo had been playing with it recently. Who's going to take first pick? Chandra again.
Once again, going for a steal of a unit. Very interesting. Is Smiser still going to be picking up like a cigar kind of unit? We definitely do know that he likes that around as well. However, I think Smiser is definitely put in a position where he cannot really pick comfortable picks, and I think Obabo's doing that very well. Smiser going in with a Vanessa plus a Volantis. That's definitely a comeback for the Juno, most likely. I think Obabo could simply go for the Escher Juno once again.
Yeah, let's see. It's a usual answer in a response to a Volantis, and the Hagang isn't on the field because it's in the pre-ban section at the moment. Say, is he going to be going game 4? His Juno with a Mehuan? Oh, a Veligul, something that we've been seeing recently picking up momentum in the ladder.
Yeah, Veligul is definitely an interesting unit where it does have that armor break on skill 2, but also a slight bit of healing. Definitely a nice answer is going to be a Miles plus Raccoon. We haven't seen that combination all too much on the highest level, but it's definitely still a very strong combination into what's at play at right here. But you have that Duman on Obabo's side. You definitely have to be banning out that Duman and then looking out how are you going to play against those other 4 units.
Let's find out. Raccoon at the moment, say, also sitting on a 66% win rate in our Summoners War European League. So when partnered with the right monsters can be very, very useful. Abelio is potentially being locked in from Obabo on the other side, and it is going to be, how does Smiser respond?
I would definitely say something that can deal with all of the units on the field right now. So you probably have to be looking at a Water Bruiser unit. So I would say, normally I'm not that much a fan of Chow, but Chow might actually be an interesting one over here. He does go for a Water Bruiser unit, but it's going to be that Molong.
Molong, we know how dangerous he can be with that skill 3 and dealing a hell of a lot of damage there. So hands are going to be coming. Who do you like?
I definitely would say the Duman. On the other side, you could remove the Raccoon, and therefore there's no healing on the side of Smiser, and that's exactly what the 2 gentlemen do over here.
They do. They're both now taking in speed leads as well, as we're going to be getting into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 2, Set 2 between Smiser and Obabo. Say, Miles taking that first turn. Can he look to get a stun anywhere?
Yeah, definitely has to be looking at stuns at that Veligul. Doesn't manage to take it, but does get a very crucial violent proc over there. However, if you go for skills right now, no, you're not going to be proccing anything yet, but also that Molong is going to be too slow, so he's really thinking about, okay, what is the best way? Stunning a lot of those units is definitely a very good way right there.
Definitely is. Juno's going to be healing a little bit from the debuffs that she got. Can she get stuns? Nothing on her side there, and is that enough?
That is definitely enough, so that Molong is probably based on doing damage on fire, because otherwise she probably wouldn't do that much damage. Definitely a nice place Molong over there. And definitely also very much in a favorable position for Smiser right now. I think Obabo still has a lot of healing and other things going on, but it's going to be an uphill battle from here.
Definitely is. We heard that dolphin noise again, say. I know you love it. We heard it again. It managed to stun that Chandra. Molong now trying to land a defense break. Doesn't get it on the Chandra, but he's going to be chipping away as much as he can.
Yeah, definitely, because Smiser doesn't have any form of healing. However, on the other side, there's a lot of form. Like, all 3 units are actually built as support units that can support one another in some kind of shape or way. So, I definitely do see a comeback for Obabo over here. But he's not having that much damage output at the moment, because he first has to get rid of the Miles, because that is the highest damage dealer out there.
Oh, nice additional turn from the Abelio, managing to heal up a little bit more, say, push the whole team up as well. Chandra can come in now, look to use a defend, does use it on that Abelio. Can he get a stun of his own? No.
Doesn't get a stun of his own, but in the process we do actually have traded stuns between the Phalantus and the Abelio itself. So definitely that slow from the Chandra is keeping Obabo in this match, because with that slow, Miles is gonna be doing a lot less damage. But if we say goodbye to that Chandra pretty soon as well, which is going to be looking very close at this moment, it will be definitely more difficult, because there's less slows going beyond the field, and there's only going to be damage from the Abelio.
Yeah, he's going to be targeting that Miles, and you can see the skill 3 from Vanessa coming in clutch for Obabo right there, managing to revive that. Oh, I just saw all of those stuns there.
Those are a lot of stuns, and none of the units of Smiser actually managed to proc out. In this case, we can say goodbye to the man on the surf plank that has some dolphins in his back pocket. But yeah, in this case, we are fighting at 3 against 3. We're stunning more and more units, and I'm not too sure if these units on the field right now, especially with a stunned Molong, are going to be able to take out these units, because we're 1 turn away from healing.
Yeah, it's Juno coming in now. Chip damage even more into that Vanessa. Try and get her off the field, and then you have to focus into that Molong.
Yeah, definitely the moment that that unit is gone, it's just the Molong. But can you once again get it stunned? Gets it stunned once again, so the Molong is not doing anything. We get Wild Cure coming back up. We do have traded stuns between the 2 units, however, in this case, there's just too much sustain on the side of Obabo, and the Molong was super nice to snipe out that first unit. But would it rather be like a Chow or a Camilla? Then he could have been better in that Bruiser match as well, which in this case was very difficult, especially if that Molong looking very goofy in his Hawaiian shirt. But he's just chilling and not doing anything with his head down, with that slow, with that stun. And yeah, that's not how you like to see a Molong. And that is the victory for Obabo.
That is a victory for Obabo there, confirming 2-0 against Smiser. Say Chandra he must be just despair. Everything. Every single stun he managed to get there.
Absolutely, so it was definitely despair, but on the other end, it's also the slow. The slow against the Miles is just super crucial, because he keeps cycling in. It's like every time he does skill 3, there's just slows AoE. Plus, he's boosting up his own team by a little bit. And that is the thing what we also see with Cigar and Chandra. It's actually the Chandra that's doing a lot because of those slows all the time. Spreading all of those slows, not giving your enemy any turn. And in the end, he had sustain. So the Abelio had to sustain over there. He just had to sustain at the right moment. And then at some point, if you can survive long enough, you will win, as we saw in that second match over here.
Yeah, we did actually, just to mention as well, say at the moment, I was just looking at some of the stats there. Currently, the lowest win rate monster in the whole of Summoners War European League is Volantis, with a 12% win rate. I think that just shows how strong Juno is as an answer to that. And with it being a very strong pick for Smiser, it's being countered left, right, and center, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, if it's picked that early, I do definitely still like a Phalantus, but I like Phalantus in current meta in like a slot 4 or slot 5. When you see most of the units on the field, then you can lock in that Phalantus. Then you know it's strong. Then you don't face against like a Juno or a Heigang or a Varamos, or name any of the countless units that are good counters to a Phalantus right now. If you were to lock a Phalantus in slot 2, slot 3, there's still like a lot of options for counter picks, and that's why you just see it as like, okay, it's not gonna do as great as we saw in the previous match.
Here we're going. We're getting into our League Day 6 match number 3 at the moment. So we've got Tito Golet versus Roid. Tito Golet coming off some crazy good form, say. 5 wins out of 6 in his last matches against Guts, Angel, and Adri. A strong opponent today in Roid, but how do you like him so far in the...
I definitely do like Tito Golet a lot. We have seen him play a lot of different styles. We have seen him play with the Nikki. We have seen him play like the Cigar Chandra. We have seen him play around Ragdoll. So definitely a man that has a lot of different units. He also has the Jana in his box. So definitely a lot of LDs that he also likes to use, but use at the right moment. So he's not just like simply spamming all of those units in at any freaking moment. He's just looking at which individual opponent is he playing and what then also fits against him. So, but in this case, Ragdoll's not going to be too great because we have on the other side Roid and he has that Tian Lang. So let's see if that one would also be banned out later then.
Yeah, Roid actually only coming off the back of 2 set wins out of a possible 6 from last week, say, but he did face off against current top of the leaderboard, which was Pafix, Sam Bicep, and obviously his very close friend Raxaz right now. So it's going to be interesting now to see if Roid can kind of change that momentum. He's also sitting pretty low in the leaderboard right now, having been currently as well the top European league player in terms of on the RTA ladder. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can change things up against there. He's obviously got those very strong units, like you said, the Tian Lang. We know how strong he can be with his Maw. These guys facing off, they've actually faced off against each other a total of 4 times in the past 2 seasons. 50-50, say. So it's all up to play for right now. Tito, I've got a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Don't follow the pink road as we're getting into this Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 3, Set 1 between Tito Golet and Roid, say.
Yeah, let's see. It's also very possible that we have that Light Monkey pre-band. Do we see it? No, we actually have the Moor and the Nikki. So both signature units that... I would say for Tito is more of like a later pick, but for Roid, that Moor is definitely one of those first few picks that he likes to do. So definitely curious to see what Roid goes for an early pick right now.
Let's see if he's going to be taking through any of the others, like the Chandras that we've seen before, the Cigars. It is going to be a Cigar, say, on the side of Roid.
So Cigar on the side of Roid could definitely be for Tito somewhat along the side of like a Vanessa. The Ashe he definitely likes to pick up. Could maybe go for an Oliver. There's a lot of options, but I do think that he will lock in a speed lead on that second slot right now.
He is going to be taking that Chandra. We know how useful they can be when partnered with a Cigar, so stealing that away already. A Gapsu coming out already, say.
Yeah, Gapsu is definitely a unit we have seen a lot on the ladder the last few days. It definitely has a very positive high win rate in G3. It is definitely a unit that is very well paired with a Ragdoll, but it's also just a very strong unit against any unit that heals. So Roid is definitely going for a Bruiser setup right now. If he locks in the unit, no, actually decides to go for an Etna.
Yeah, pulling out the Etna. We know how strong Etnas can be at this level of competition in RTA. Say, the artifacts, all of the extra runes stats that these guys can build onto these monsters. Tito Golet deciding to maybe also change things up, going in for a more of a Bruiser now, pulling a Mei Hu Wang. Is he going to follow that up with another unit like that?
He could definitely follow it up with like a Marsha of some kind of sort, but actually decides to go for Diana. So this gives, that's always Diana into Roid. That's a dangerous thing because the man loves his Antares. And the biggest opening to an Antares is a Diana. Sure, we have some counters on the field already. He definitely does like his Julian as well, but is he actually gonna go for this Antares? Because if there's ever been an Antares opening, I would say that this one is one. And Roid actually lets it get away. Goes for a Smiser and a Julian as a more comfortable pick at this moment.
Yeah, Smiser's being picked up a lot more recently. Obviously, that silence is crucial in order to stop your opponent from taking turns and actually being able to do stuff with it, say. Do you think he has to respond with maybe a fire unit right now in order? There is a lot of wind on the field.
I would say an Antares on the left side of the field wouldn't be too bad as well, but decides to go in for a Kinky. It is that nerf unit, but we have seen it do a lot of damage if it's managed to go for a skill 1 armor break into that skill 2. For bans right now, I would say probably the Julian is very deadly. On the other side, it might still be that Diana as a ban.
Let's see, it's going to be the Mei Hu Wan, so he's taking out the fire unit, and Smiser being banned out on the side there of Roid. Let's see how these guys are going to be choosing their leader skills as we'll be getting in the speed lead and the defense lead from Cigar into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 3, Set 1 between Tito Golet and Roid. Say, here we go, first turn, go into that Escher.
Yeah, Escher moving first here, that's definitely obvious because of the speed lead on that side. However, there's not too much follow-up. Like, the only unit that will actually follow up is Gapsu because of healing. And that's what Gapsu makes so strong. Also stealing that speed buff. taking an additional turn. In this case, not gonna help too much. You could go for potential stun on the Escher, but that would also boost up the Diana in the process. In this case, you're probably gonna be looking at stuns. So maybe you want to do a hug somewhere, you go for the defense, but then you have to be looking at a stun. Oh, it doesn't manage to get the stun on any of those units.
No, and right now, Kinky, there's obviously immunity on the side. Is he going to try and land a defense break on the Gapsu or anything on the Julian? It's not going to do too much. Does land it there, say, but now Etna is online. She's going to be able to turn cycle with Diana coming very soon.
Yeah, getting all armor breaks on the field. In the process, doesn't get armor broken herself. If she were to get armor broken here herself, you could have been able to go for the switch and then kill out that Etna right in the process. And in this case, Tito Golet decided not to go for the shields, but try to stun out that unit. However, there's a lot of damage going on pretty soon. We have that Julian skill too. It's going to do so much damage. What are we looking at? Double 18Ks! That is so much damage, instantly taking out a supposedly very tanky Escher. The Etna going in, also on an armor break, doing so much damage. The units of Pink Roid are just doing so much damage. Once again, are we gonna see double 18Ks? Double 15Ks, nearly taking out the Chandra. It's just so much damage.
Wow, so my Julian does not do anything near that right now. And Gapsu's going to be cleaning up, I'm pretty sure, anytime soon against that Chandra. Diana against the world. Let's see how many additional turns she might be able to get, say. It's the only way.
Yeah, it's the only way. I would say she needs about like 8 or 9 and then maybe she kills everything. So that's probably as much chance of pulling 2 LD5s and 2 scrolls. But hey, you never know. It could happen. Apparently not this time.
Yeah. Not this time, as Pink Roid takes that first set against Tito Golet there, say, managing to come in clutch with the Etna, and that Julian doing so much damage. 18k double hits on the first one, 15k hits. There must be some crazy runes and artifacts on that unit.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just a very dangerous unit in general because you can't really control it. Like, the only good control against it is attack bar manipulation, but if you leave it on the field, if you let it get its turns, especially at the moment where there's armor breaks being set up by an Etna or something, it is just very deadly. So Tito in this case had the first turn, but he didn't have any like particular follow-up. That Kinky didn't really do too much for the follow-up. That's kind of the point where you say like, okay, the first few picks, I'm gonna take that first turn, and then the last few picks, you're gonna say like, no, never mind, we're gonna bruiser it out. That's really in that uncomfortable position where you take the first turn, you get rid of all of your immunity, and then the enemy starts taking turns and actually kills your whole team within like 2-3 turns.
Here we go then. Pre-bans are being locked in for our set number 2 right now. It is going to be the Khitan Dasheng. We know how strong that unit can be, especially in the hands of Pink Roid, and Ragdoll being banned out on the side of Pink Roid for Tito Golet. He's not going to be able to use it right now. We see a more first pick, generally used first pick unless it's pre-banned.
Yeah, definitely used, but also more used as kind of a steal. On the other side, we have that Escher being locked in and a Hey Gang, so definitely reversing the roles right now with that Escher being on the other side. Tito Golet going in for still like a semi-bruiser-ish style, but still outspeeding. Locks in that Nikki and locks in that Cigar.
Yeah, we know how strong Cigar can be with that skill 3 on the side of Pink Roid. Now changing things up for a bit of Tomoe and Layla there, I say.
Tomoe and Layla is definitely a very interesting composition because you can't really cleanse against them. Playing turn 2 into those comps is definitely very difficult. He does already have that Escher locked in to also make that team go first. But Tito Golet does have that Seimer, which is insanely strong against it. So if he wants to go turn 2 style against it, he probably has to look at something along the lines of, well, a Light Pony, very good option. But like a Juno or Vermos could have been good as well.
Yeah, and Pink Roid looking to try and get another stripper involved there in order to make sure all of that stuff lands on the side of Tomoe Layla. Let's see who the bans are going to be, say. It's going to be the Eleanor and it's going to be the Escher to prevent, hopefully, that first turn. But let's see how they get into this match. Speedly coming in for both of these guys in our Summoners War European League Day 6. Match 3, set 2 between Tito Golet and Pink Roid. Say that Robo is fast and is going to be going first, but doesn't get all the pushback.
Doesn't get too many pushbacks, but actually in this position you could have went for a skill 3 because it was actually on Violent, so there's no chance of Despair stunning. Actually managed to do a lot of damage, but now the turn's going to Pink Roid.
Yeah, Layla coming in right now, landing all of the debuffs, hopefully. Does get a stun there on the same as well. Tomoe's going to follow up and try and spread and push back, say.
Yeah, definitely what we're looking at right now is the pushbacks, because the moment that anything takes a turn, the Seimei will full heal that unit, more or less. So if anything takes a turn, Seimei will full heal. That's just how the unit works. However, there's a lot of pushback denying with that Robo, with that Layla, and with that Tomoe going in there. So I'm not too sure if any of those units are going to be taking any turns anytime soon. We have the Mort taking a turn, being full HP right now. Cigar pretty close to taking a turn, can be pushed back, isn't pushed back, also once again full HP, and we have all of those units looking very healthy right now, except that one unit that's super crucial, which is that Nikki.
Yeah, let's see. There's so much that obviously Pink Roid set up right there, but it was just cleansed because of having Sammy on the field. Can he get rid of that Nikki now? He does manage to get rid of the Nikki, though, say.
He does manage to get rid of the Nikki, and we don't have any sustain on the side of Pink Roid. So the big question is, how long can Pink Roid keep doing all of those skills? Keep getting all of those Despair stunts in? Because so far, the Layla is for sure on Despair, the Hay Gang is on Despair. There has to be a lot of damage going into those units, but Pink Roid does have those great additional damage artifacts that definitely make it that with those multi-hits, he will start doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's got slows on the field and he's hoping for Tomoe to take another turn very soon. Keep pushing them back, say. He needs to land them every time.
Yeah, he needs to land them every time and get all of those extra turns in as possible. You have the Robo once again going in with the extra turns. Everything is stunned already, so it will cycle for sure, unless he already kills something. But in this case, we probably, that skill 3 of Tomoe is going to reset the attack bars, nearly resetting attack bars. We might get an extra turn on that Cigar. If Cigar managed to take a turn right now, does not manage to take a turn. And, ooh, he actually gets a turn. Ooh, back to full HP. And is this the turnaround moment? In the process, doesn't manage to... It doesn't manage to land any of the crucial provokes and got stunned right back in the process. And, yeah, he's back at where we started.
It is back, but you can see just how much health regained the moment that they're taking turns at the moment, say.
Yeah, absolutely. And the moment that Robo is off the battlefield, it becomes a lot more favorable for Tito Golet because that removes a lot of damage. Sure, there's still quite some damage, there's still quite some pushbacks, but it's no longer as much as it used to be. So if he managed to get rid of that unit, it could actually be very crucial.
Oh, he's just healthy every single time right now, say. Robo does have second skill available, is going to be able to push back against that Seimei, and he's now going to need to focus damage somewhere.
Yeah, he needs to focus the damage somewhere, but there's also just so many stuns going on. Every time that they take a turn, the only way that it actually helps is that additional turn. In this case, will this do enough damage? It will do enough damage, and the Seimei is off the battlefield, so no more healing going on, and that will most likely give the victory to Pink Roid.
Wow, just controlling the opposing team, managing to slowly pick it down. There was an opportunity for Tito Golet for potentially a big comeback on the cards. They may be crucial on the field. They say Robo is going to clean things up now for Pink Roid to win 2-0 against Tito Golet. That's going to do some crazy things on our leaderboard right now, say. But again, showing that the tech kind of did work in the end, but how close it can be if you make a slight mistake or get any resistance against you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that team is all about controlling the enemy. But controlling the enemy in this case had to be even more crucial, where they get like a full HP bar. They were at like heals of like 39k. That's like a lot of healing going on. So definitely the Seimei putting in the work. But you need to have your units getting those turns. If you don't get those turns, there's no healing. There's no potential comeback. And unfortunately, the Nikki definitely left the battlefield pretty early on. If she were able to get like 1 or 2 turns in, probably she would have flipped around the match pretty easily.
There you go, just to confirm it there, you saw the Robo coming through, managing to clean things up, say, wow. There's going to be a lot of changes on our leaderboard right now, so for all of you that are joining us in chat, if you're on YouTube or if you're on Twitch, make sure you're using the command SWEL or EL in order to find out all the latest stuff that has been happening on the leaderboard and how things are now affected from the points that have been won during this set. Say, it's going to be crazy. We're going to be coming back very soon. We're going to go into a 5-minute break, but we'll see you after with plenty more matches.
See ya.
Bum, bum. Okay, so Obabo is also now number 1. Pink Roid jumped up to like 4th. Smiser, oh, he's got like 3-point difference between him and Hansel-lot at the bottom. Hello everybody, welcome back. If you didn't see already, you probably heard me during the break. I was having a look at the leaderboard, the current standings right now, so we were having a little chat around it. Obviously things have shifted right now in the leaderboard. I was saying before, Obabo's now jumped all the way up to 1st place, Pink Roid coming in at 4th, and it's going to be a long road for Smiser to try and get into that number 8 spot to qualify through for our playoffs, say. You can see right now as well, actually, 2-0s all over the board. It's something that we're not really used to here in the European League. We see a lot of 1-1s, but 2-0 people are prepared and ready to face off against each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Last week it was all about 1-1s. We only had like 2-0s, and it was also both on the same side. Currently, it's definitely a lot of 2-0, so let's see if we can go on with that streak, and let's see if we're gonna get some more 1-1s. But in the next 3 matches, we're gonna see a lot of firework matches as well. We have the glorious Obabo, we have Smiser, Pink Roid, and Tito Golet against Hansel-lot.
Yeah, some stellar matches still to come, and there's even plenty more after that as well. So you've got another 3 that are coming straight after that as well. It's going to be crazy, and it's going to jump a lot of things or change things up on our leaderboard, which is what these guys are all playing for. Remember, they to get into that top 8, but the higher you get into that top 8, the better it's going to be for yourself during those playoffs. You're going to start with an advantage against those other players. It's about gaining those points and getting as high up as you possibly can. Looking forward now to our next match, say. We saw it then. It is going to be Glorious versus Obabo, people that are widely known within the community. How do you like this lineup?
Well, definitely a very nice lineup. It's just nice to watch. Let's see what the 2 gentlemen bring in this match. Is it Obabo still going to be playing around with that Asher kind of style that he liked to do in the previous round? Or is that just something that he used against Smiser?
Let's see. Is it a glorious night for another song? Put these 2 together and what have you got? Bibbidi Bobbidi Obabo. Let's find out in our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 4, Set 1 between Glorious and Obabo. So let's see what those pre-bans are going to be coming. Is there going to be the respect on some of the LDs that both of these have got? Are we going to see a Han or a Shan? Let's find out as we're going into the pre-bans.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what we have on the pre-bans. We have both of the speed units being banned out, actually, with the Wunsa pre-ban and the Adna pre-ban. So definitely curious to see if Obabo once again goes back to that Asher. Is actually the set that's normally on the Adna currently on the Asher. Is that a potential thing?
Maybe. Let's see if he also looks in a Chandra. No, he decided instead for an Oliver to get more of that speed lead coming through, say.
Yeah, Oliver with the speed lead. So definitely the speed lead that Glorious was picking in the last few rounds. Glorious could go back towards a Chiwo plus something. Ooh, actually locks it in with a Tianlang plus a more. So definitely not something that he normally does on the leaderboard too much. That's where he likes to go for that Chiwo plus a Jean or something like that. Definitely mixing it up a little bit. I definitely do like that Tianlang into an Oliver right here.
Yeah, exactly. His passive is going to be helping him getting more attack bar in order to go against Obabo. Does he follow it up with something similar? Is he going to go for a first turn? Zima coming through with an Escher, so still going for that turn 1.
Yeah, definitely still going for that turn 1. It's slightly strange to have an Escher into a Tianlang, because if the dice rolls kind of against your favor, Tianlang is going to be able to take that turn, strip everything, and then kill everything. But in this case, we once again have that Seimei that did do a lot of work in the previous match for Glorious against the Zima as well. So let's see if he can make that work once again. On the other side, we have that Duman being locked in, which is once again super dangerous, and is probably going to be leaving with his post-ban.
Let's see who he can follow it up with. Previously, he followed it up with an Abeliose in his last match, but I don't know if it's the right situation right now. Obviously, the Mei Huang does suggest that he's going to be bruisering it out with that Seimei. Looking instead for a Sekhmet to get some cool times reset.
Yeah, I think so, but on the side of Obabo, except for that Duman, there's not too much damage going on. Like, sure, the Zima can do some damage, sure, the Escher can do some damage, but it's not a lot of damage. If Glorious locks in a good Bruiser unit right now, I definitely do favor the draft of Glorious in this position, but let's see what Bruiser unit he locks in. He likes to lock in a Antares. Not exactly what I was thinking, but it's definitely a Bruiser unit nevertheless, and I think it's actually pretty good in this slot.
Who are you liking for the bans then here? Say, I think the Seimei, obviously, if you've got the Zima, or is it going to be counterplay against the Duman?
I would say that the Seimei's probably, and also that Duman. Yeah, those are definitely the two bans that we've been looking at, and we're going into the match.
Summoners War European League Day 6. It's our match 4 set 1 between Glorious and Obabo, who's currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard. Escher is going to be taking that first turn, say, and it's not going to allow Tianlang yet.
Yeah, it's not gonna allow Tianlang yet, but also the segment is looking pretty slow, so that's probably either a Despair or a Bio segment. Missing both the stun and the bomb. It's not that they didn't activate, no, both got resisted at this position, so that's definitely unfavorable. We do have the skill coming in from the segment, does actually land, but we have the Tianlang looking at an armor broken Zima at the moment.
It is, and Oliver right now can look to reset that more, and it's going to allow Tianlang to take some of the attack bar that would be coming. Monkey needs to get online. Can he do enough damage to get rid of that Zima with an additional turn, say?
With that additional turn, the skill to definitely confirm that kill. It was a very nice kill over there, and the current question is, there's not too much damage going on into anything right now. He can definitely try to get some stuns over here. Does he manage to get any stuns? Doesn't get any stuns. We do have armor breaks on a few very crucial units, but we also have a violent proc from that Antares, and he got rid of that defense break.
Yeah, he's going to be taking out Escher as fast as he possibly can, and gets a stun. And Mei Huang again with another additional turn, say.
Yeah, definitely those additional turns are helping Glorious out quite a bunch, but I would also say without those, I think that Glorious definitely still had like a favorable matchup over here, because in the end there was not too much damage output from the side of Obabo. However, if there was anything going on, he needed to land that stun and that bomb at the first spot on that Antares, which didn't happen, and therefore we have that victory for Glorious.
Wow, Glorious coming in clutch with 100% resistance, and Tari's right there saying, not allowing anything to happen on him, even resisting against the Sekhmet skill 3 as well right there. And Tari's just proving again how strong he can be in these tournament settings. We're going to be going into the next match right now, so, I mean, how do you change things up on the side of Obabo?
Yeah, definitely going to be looking at like, okay, was that a favorable, like Obabo looking for himself, like is that a favorable draft that he wants to repeat or slightly repeat, or he actually wants to really switch things up? We do have a Tianlang ban right now, so definitely the match is going to be very different. And we're going to see what Glorious likes to lock in that first slot, but both of the players were contesting Oliver on their first pick. We do see that again with Glorious.
We do. Is he going to, Obabo, continue the trend with the Zima again during this match, or is he going to now change things up? We've seen a Chandra earlier on as well in the hands of Obabo. You were mentioning as well that Sekhmet obviously was slow, so she must have been on a different build than normal. Maybe shout out to an ACOG in the chat. We know how much the Despair one can be used. Partnering now with a Chandra and an Etna, say.
Yeah, the Chandra and the Etna does showcase that Wunsa is able to be played by Glorious, and that's also the reason why it was banned up before. We also have an Escher, but if Glorious goes for a 33 lead right now, plus a fast unit, no, actually, once again, really does like that Seimei. Actually goes to pretty much the similar style with that last 2 picks of a Seimei and a Veramos, what he also did in his previous matchup. So let's see how that would work out against Obabo, or does Obabo maybe have a stronger answer? But when Glorious locks in those units that fast, he's probably saying like, okay, I'll play those first 4 units, and I'll probably will be looking at a ban on that last unit, which is a Teo in this position, and that's probably also a must ban right there.
Let's see then if the Chimeras can make it through from this draft phase. Teo does get banned out. Oliver is taken away, so there's the speed lead against Glorious right now. He's going to be taking that HP lead. Obabo with the speed lead from Chandra as we're getting into our Summoners War European League Day 6 Match 4, set number 2 between Glorious and Obabo. So let's see that in action again.
Etna getting quite a good amount of armor breaks. In this case, do you full focus on taking out that Veramos? No, actually goes for the stun on the Shan, and that's doing a lot of damage on the Shan. Could possibly already take it out if you went for skill 3 right there.
Is the bomb going to land this time around? Say Zima has the chance now, or she can look to use his 3rd skill instead as well.
Looking at hitting those bombs, but actually I don't think it would have been that bad of a play to just go for simply skill once, because in the end, like I said before, you are the decider if Seimei heals or not. If there's no debuffs on your enemy side, Seimei is not going to be healing anything. So if you just play it out like slow and simple with just doing damage. Oh, we have another additional turn for the Vermouth, managing to stun all 4 units, and that is very crucial right there.
Wow, Veramos again managing quad stuns on the side of Obabo, not allowing him to take a turn, and it's not going to be enough yet. Maybe it will be after the 2nd skill coming into that Shan to take it away, but we can see the cleansing coming from the Veramos, from the Seimei say.
But we also have the Seimei still having that skill 3 or the skill 2, so going in for stunts, landing quite some of those stunts, and is this the moment where this Etna can be taken off the battlefield by this Veramos?
It's going to be taken off right now by that Woundser. Not allowing any damage coming out through, and against the rest of the units on the field, say, they're going to be eating up all of these debuffs.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be eating up all of those debuffs. And the interesting thing is actually a Veramos skill 1 is scaling from speed. Getting speed buff on that Veramos actually makes him do quite a bit of damage as well. So the Woundsa is not really there. It's just there for like show, I would say. It can do a little bit. Maybe if it can get like a sleep skill 1 at some point, it would have been very nice. But besides that, the Wounds is not doing too much. It's all about that Veramos and the Veramos trying to stay alive as long as possible. Sean, on the revive, do you still do a lot of damage on this skill? Does do a good 12k. That's actually quite a lot of damage right there.
It is, but realistically now he's trying to target that damage into the Chandra, but we know Eshe with that skill 3 can do a lot of damage if it gets online, say. Focusing into that Woundser, but it's going to be able to strip. Oh, it's tough.
Yeah, stripping and healing a lot, and we once again have that Veramos. Veramos getting no stuns this time around, but did get the additional turn once again, locking in quite a lot of damage. Wounds at double 3k, actually managed to do enough damage as well, and I think that this is so much of an uphill battle right now for Obabo that he probably can't come back from this. There's just too much healing in those 2 passive units from Seimei and Veramos, which it's just really working out for Glorious, and he has shown it in the previous match where I was kind of confused about it. Showing it again in this match, which is once again showing very well process on it. So definitely a strong combination right there for just saying like, okay, normally we go for the first few fast units, but we switch it up and it's super strong.
It is very strong. You can see these partners together just eating up those debuffs. And right now, the moment he can kind of get rid of that Escher off the field. Oh, and a sleep as well added to it. Right now, Zima does have all skills available, going for that bomb, does land it, but Veramos just cleanse it away, baby.
Yeah, it's just the Veramos cleanses. Like, if you drop the bomb somewhere else than the Veramos, the bomb at least can go off if it takes a turn before that Veramos, twice. But that is just a strong thing about that Veramos. Like I said, Zima, pretty interesting unit, but also countered by a whole bunch of units out there right now. And Veramos the same are definitely one of those, and Veramos, once again, those stuns are so crucial. Veramos is stunning so much, doing a decent amount of damage, that it's actually making work of it.
It is, and he just keeps targeting still more into that wound, but it's not going down. Veramos is going to be able to clean things up now. Zima against the rest of them. She does have obviously a healing skill one, say, but the rest of the skills are just going to be allowing more health on the side of Glorious. Shan coming through, skill 2 with that Squall. It's going to be enough for Glorious to maybe cause an upset there. 2-0 against Obabo, who was at the top of the leaderboard coming into this match, say. Glorious playing it very well with the Veramos and the Seimei picks coming through.
Yeah, Glorious, he said sometimes in chat that he's washed up, but my man, you're not washed up. You're playing very well. Keep it up.
He's definitely been playing well. He's proven right now, getting an extra 2 points. Right now, he's currently got 4 points from a possible 6 that he still needs to play another 2, obviously, later as well. He's going to be jumping very high up on that Summoners War European League leaderboard. For all of you in chat, make sure you're using the command SWEL or EL in order to see exactly how things have shifted and changed now in regards from that match that we've just seen. Veramos say, everybody can get it. Everybody can use it.
Yeah, definitely that Veramos made a lot of work, but don't count out the Same in this position. The Same it did allow to get turns, it did allow to go for those like heavy heals that she has. But besides that, also the skill too. Bringing back the chunk, giving AoE stun, bringing back the chunk, going for 12 to 16Ks on those squalls. It definitely does help out a lot to still be able to bring back that unit. And actually I have Same, like normally Same I would say is like a passive totem. It's just standing there, it's just doing nothing. Like it's just waiting for something to die. But if something is dead and there's just exactly one unit dead, she's actually there in her full potential, and it worked out very well that way.
Yeah, it was used to really great effect right there. Glorious right now on a very good winning streak. Obabo obviously losing those 2 points. It's not going to affect him in terms of going so far down the leaderboard. He's still going to be hovering very much around the top. And he has a match later on to try and prove himself again in order to get some of those points back on the leaderboard. We're going into our next matchup, which is going to be Smiser versus Pink Roid. This is kind of, and he has to win Smiser in this matchup. We were saying before, 3 points deficit at the bottom of the leaderboard, and he needs to get points to get into that 8th spot. Probably one of the toughest opponents that you can face in the next match, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely say it's one of the toughest opponents to face, and he pretty much, like, he's only allowed to win from here. Like, if he loses any right now, he probably doesn't make it to the top 8 because he's quite far below, like, even the second lowest at the moment. So let's see if the man can make it work here, but doing that against Pink Roid, that's definitely going to be a difficult one.
It is. These guys have not actually faced each other at all in the past 2 seasons, so we don't know in terms of the stats how it's going to go on between these 2 guys. But so what? They're both still rock stars. Will we see their best moves? Or who will win tonight as we go into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 5, Set 1, Smiser versus Pink Roid. Pre-bans will be coming out right now. We've got the Volantis and we've got a Kiten Dasheng as well.
So the Volantis pre-ban, especially on mentioning the statistics that we did earlier, 12% win rate, banning that unit out is not going to do too much. But in the end, it's still a strong unit, and it's definitely a favorable unit for Smiser to play. However, Pink Roid definitely does pick up a unit that's very good into Smiser, I can assume, because it's counters from all of the healing that Smiser can potentially do later. And Smiser, all of the drafts are healing based, are bruiser based. So picking that first pick Gupso against Smiser is definitely something that Smiser is saying like, okay, wait. A, I didn't expect this. B, I probably don't like to play against it, so I'm taking my full turns. Actually goes in for a Coco, trying to snipe out some units.
Coco, we saw, I think it was in the previous weeks, it was Hansel-lot using that, both Smiser and Hansel-lot are in the same discount channel, a lot called Dunkerque. They work around things all of different times. Or it was a Vampire last time, maybe the same. Pink Roid deciding to answer now with Sexmet, that high base speed, looking to get some cool times in, maybe against the Coco, and Shan coming out as well. Strong LD unit.
Yeah, definitely strong LD units. Normally Shan is often picked together with AoE strips. And with AoE strips, it would definitely be something along the lines of being able to strip and then a Shan following up. But in this case, we have a lot of single target strips.
Let's find out how Smiser is going to answer. Let's see that my voice isn't killing people in terms of the chat as well. We're going to go through that as Miles is partnered there with Rikuni right now. Say Pink Roid answering with a very nice pocket pick being more.
Yeah, pocket pick being more, and definitely that single target strip going in. He could be looking at that second single target strip going in as well. Actually takes it away. On that Miles plus Raccoon, I've seen very successful with anything along the lines of like a slow that has been very strong, but actually takes that and goes for like single target snipes himself. Does he go 2 of those? No, actually goes for a strange like this match is all about like, oh, we want to take first turns, but also bruiser it up, but also kind of snipe. There's a lot of stuff going on in this match. I'm not entirely sure which way he will go with this last pick over here.
So much indecision right now, as you can see as well. They're taking a lot of time during these matches to pick exactly what they're trying to do. Molon coming out with the Abelio. There's going to be some healing on the side of Pink Roid through Gapsu or through the Abelio. How's he going to answer now, Smiser? Do you go for a Smiser? No, you go for the Minato here.
Going for a Minato, pretty interesting unit. It's definitely a unit that at some point in this season got picked up a lot, but then also kind of got rid out of the meta pretty fast as well, because it's really one of those units that you expect to do a lot of solos, but we have seen a lot of matches where it even against like fire monkeys or other things can't really perform that solo too much. So for the bans here, we get rid of that Minato and we do get rid of that Malwong.
Got the speed lead locked in from the side of Nice Smicer, the HP from Sekhmet on the side of Pink Roid. So we're getting into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 5, set 1 between Nice Smicer and Pink Roid. Miles will be taking that for turn 8. Are we going to get the Dolphin and some stuns?
We're definitely looking out for the Dolphin. We're going for the Dolphin on the Shan. Does not really get the Dolphin on the Shan.
Here we go, Sekhmet coming in. Look, it resisted against that Coco right now, so it is going to be able to take a turn if you decide to boost it up with Rakuni.
Yeah, definitely would probably have to be looking at that boost. You could also boost up the Miles, which is an option, but goes for the boost over here. If he gets an additional turn on this Coco right now, it could take out a unit, does not get the additional turn. So this gives a lot of chances for Pink Roid to just hit that Coco, get rid of those 5 stacks that are in there, and don't get fully hit by all of those units instantly.
Here right now, Coco still has those 4 kind of lightning bolts at the moment that are protecting her in terms of dealing out that damage when she gets attacked. There's immunity on the side of the field, they say, but managing the stun and the slow on that gap suit, but stuns returned.
Yeah, stuns returned, and now I would say that Pink Roid definitely has a comfortable spot of just being able to get the debuffs in that he wants, get the right things in. Let's see over here, do we get a lot of debuffs? Does not manage to get them in debuffs. We do have a proc. 2 stacks, a good amount of damage, but not enough damage, and for that reason, not enough damage. Abellio can take over and actually full heal that John nearly.
Oh, and that skill 2 coming into the Rakuni, not quite enough to take it out. Sekhmet does have that skill 3 available. She can look to reset, is going for that Chandra to stop the slows coming out again, say.
Yeah, definitely more slows are not going to come out anytime soon, but this is definitely not really looking favorable for Nice Smicer because he had that one potential with the Coco. The moment that the Coco would have been taking units off the battlefield, he actually had a good shot. Sure, he still has good damage with that Miles, but there's also very good damage on the other side with that Gapso and with the Chan that's still very lively.
Definitely is. We've got the resistance there coming from the Shan. Miles right now is going to be trying to do work, but there isn't any sustain on the side of him either, say.
We have the Coco once again going with an additional turn, but not at the moment that you want it. Once again, Pink Roid can work on it, slowly chipping out those hits. Oh, we actually got a turn pretty fast. So in this case, can we take out the Shan? We do not manage to take out the Shan because of that attack break. The attack break is so strong.
It is right now. Gapsu just doing a little bit more work. You can see how well, not really healthy that Shan is, but he's managed to survive each of the hits that have come in from that Coco at the moment. Say, attack break, you're going to put it back on. Didn't quite land it this time around, but it's got one more turn of that. Oh, nice additional turn.
Very nice additional turn. Killed it by the sliver of health. Once again, if you would additional turn on this one, however, doesn't manage to get that one because that's the one he really needs to take out any of those units. And the thing is, those units are not looking any livelier than they are going to be right now because there's no healing on the side of Nice Smicer, and he's going to be taking out that Miles pretty soon.
He is going to be taking out that Miles. He's going for the Coco first. She's got that skill 1 available, but it's going to follow up with a little bit of damage. Enough to take out that Abelio, though. That's
actually a pretty interesting build on that Coco. I haven't noticed it yet, but it's actually nemesising. So every time it's being hit, while it has the stacks up, it's actually getting a lot of that nemesis in. It might actually be double nemesis or maybe even triple nemesis to get those stacks pretty fast. I'm definitely liking that build, but now that's Chandra against the road, which is definitely against a lot of units would have been okay. But there's too much healing. The Gapso is just too much healing. It's not going to help.
Yeah, branded right now, and Nice Smicer knows that, and Pink Roid has taken the first point against Nice Smicer in our Summoners War European League Day 6. Say he really needs to get some of these points on the board. It's going to be crucial now. He needs it in order to jump out and into the playoff positions. Pink Roid showing there in the draft, like you were saying, say, going for reacting to whatever Nice Smicer did. Okay, I've got an answer for you, but I've got my own thing. What am I going to do this time? What do we think of the pre-bans coming out on this side?
Miles pre-ban, definitely did not expect that one. I do have to rectify, I thought the Coco was a nem, but the Coco's apparently it's in the skill itself. I have been drafting Coco in the past, but wasn't doing that back then, so probably a change that happened at some point. But Coco's actually taking the extra attack bar when some of the orbs are being used. And we got Nice Smiser, and I think Nice Smiser is on the point like, okay, nothing else worked in SWEL for him so far. We're just gonna mix it up with a Antares first pick. So let's see how that works out. Antares Diana, he goes for all of the RNG units. So let's see if he mixes that up with like maybe a water monkey or a wind monkey or... Okay, double ponies.
Say the double unicorn action at the moment, they are some of the lowest win rate units in the whole of the Summoners War European League. Pink Roid has very much the time on his hands now to decide how he's going to go against this. But in terms of that, he's going for a Bulwark, obviously allowing probably the Eleanor to come through. Okay.
I would say that these drafts are normally not really what you see all too much in G3 kind of drafting. So I definitely do like the Bulwark. I do like the Molong. But then the Eladriel and Smiser are definitely an interesting take. And yeah, this is looking very Siege-like kind of offense is what you want to do if you want to safe play someone into Siege. However, then you're playing into the AI and you're using either the team on the left or on the right, and you're not using them against one another. So this is definitely an interesting thing over here right now.
Who better to have with us on this kind of match, say, than you, the Siege Guild winner from the previous tournament. We've now got Smiser being locked in with the Resistance lead, Speed lead coming on the side of Pink Roid with Chandra. Let's get into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 5, Set 2. Nice Smiser really needs a point against Pink Roid, but right now, Gapsu takes that first turn and followed up by Chandra.
Yeah, followed up by Chandra, but after that the Molong is going. So the Molong will go for his skill 3 with a branding. So it's very most likely to do enough damage to kill out that Smiser right away. So in this case, you probably just want to be hitting. Oh, okay. Does take a turn on the Antares, but there's still enough will runes where it doesn't really matter anything. So let's see if he actually goes for skill 2. Doesn't go for skill 2, decides to go for the slow. I like that. But we're saying goodbye to that Smiser at this moment. But the pony also takes a very specific turn at a moment you don't really want it, and therefore has to go for shields.
Using the shield, getting an additional turn now. Can it look to get a stun out? It does get the stun. It's going to be followed now by the Ikaris. She has the skills available, and we're going to see a transformation and some immunity being put up on the side of Nice Smiser for the moment.
Yeah, definitely some immunity, but you have to be looking at stunning that Ikaris. Ikaris stun did not manage to connect twice. So for that reason, we have very much a lowered HP unit in these ponies where they don't have anything. We have to get a lot of absorbs over here. Did not manage to activate a single absorb on the Ikaris. We have to get some stuns on the Ikaris right here. Otherwise, we're gonna be saying goodbye to the pony on the right side. But first, we have the pony on the left side. Some additional damage. How much do we do? Good amount of damage. But also a very good stun.
But Gapsu comes in for the stun, and now Ikaris putting it down to a slither of health, but it is going to get a little bit more from the Eleanor. It's going to go down very soon, sir.
It's definitely going to be down very soon, but we still have an Antares on the field that could say something about this match, but I'm not too sure if Antares is going to be doing all too much. Getting an additional turn, landing. Oh, doesn't land the branding on that Antares.
Going to be coming in with Molong, landing that defense break. Again, another additional turn from Antares right there. But it's as soon as you take it out, where's the damage coming from, say?
Yeah, well, the pony is not going to do any damage, I can tell you that much. But the Antares is not looking that lively. He's going to get the stun. Does not manage to connect the stun. But this skill 2 still does a decent amount of damage on that armor break. It's still not enough damage. Can go for a little bit of healing back on that Antares. But that's probably one of the last things that will happen around in this match. Yeah,
Gapsu now just plowing the obvious damage into the Antares. Chandra going to be using some skills in order to get through again into that first turn. Gets a stun now on the Antares, so even if it does take a turn, it wasn't going to do anything against that Eleanor. It's her versus the world right now, say. She is on a very low win rate, as we know right now, and it's very much an uphill battle for the rest of Nice Smiser in this Summoners War European League, as Pink Roid confirms 2-0 win against Nice Smiser. They say Pink Roid going up against an odd draft on the side of Nice Smiser in response to probably how he feels it's going at the moment. But you've got to still take your chances, right? You've still got to make sure you're getting those points. They still count even for everyone in this leaderboard to get further up. Let's see how that's changed things for Pink Roid. I don't know exactly right now. If you're in chat, command SWEL or EL to find out the current standings of the leaderboard, say. But what did you like about the drafting from Pink Roid there?
Well, I would definitely say that Pink Roid went for very good reacting drafts on like pretty much both of the matches. In both of the matches, he locked in like one unit that would say like, okay, this is my base point where we're gonna play off, and then everything else was just counter picking. And especially Gapsu into a player as nice as Smiser that definitely always likes to go for all of those healing bruiser kind of style of units. It's just a very strong pick right there.
Definitely is a very strong pick. And from that, he got those 2 points. He's managed to progress a little bit further in the Summoners War European League leaderboard. So looking forward to our next match right now. It is going to be Tito Golet versus Hansel-lot. These two guys, we know they play sometimes some different styles. They can adapt to those situations. What are you expecting from these two players?
I definitely, well, we have seen the Han on a very high win rate. We haven't seen him today at all yet. So definitely curious to be looking at if we're going to see the Han play today. But it's also going to be somewhat countered by a Ragdoll play, so let's see if that actually comes out, or maybe these two units are just going to be pre-banned.
Let's find out. Hansel-lot and Tito Golet have played each other 10 times in the past 2 seasons. Hansel-lot coming up on top with a 60% win rate out of these guys. Pretty simple line for me on this one. Who will predict the future of these chads? As we're getting into this match, Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 6, Set 1 between Tito Golet and Hansel-lot. Hansel-lot deciding there to ban the Gianna, say, and Cigar obviously banned against Hansel-lot. It's usually that first pick.
Yeah, definitely an interesting ban on that Gianna. That's definitely a unit we don't see all too much, and if we do see it, it's mainly like one of those late picks. We have a Fire Geralt on the side of Hansel-lot, but that's probably just showing off his new toy and then taking it away for an Oliver.
Yeah, he's locking in that Oliver. He's taking the speed lead, the 33%. How is he going to answer? I'll show you what I've got as well in my recent toys. Lydia coming out through there as well on the side of Tito Golet. Will he look to use that Nikki, which he's been using as well? Moore is obviously always in our kind of game ready to say it, just because of how strong that unit has been in the Summoners War European League. Partnering it up here. Oh, changing things up, going for fulls with Vanessa and Escher.
Yeah, definitely 33 lead against 33 lead. We also have that Zima once again being locked in. We did see the Zima playing in very poorly into Seimeis, and we do know that Tito also does have a Seimei, so is that something that we have seen from Glorious now also being transitioned over to Tito with a Seimei Veramos right now? However, those Seimei Veramos picks were in slot 4 and 5, not in the 3 and 4, and we actually see a Lima plus a Ren. Pretty interesting.
Definitely interesting using... Maybe he's going to still go for some of that glorious tech as we're going into it now. We've seen Shizuka then on the side of Hansel-lot. It's going to be able to put more debuffs up right now. Who he can follow that up with? Do you need also potentially another strip? Or where's the damage apart from maybe the Yonghon skill too?
Yeah, I would say that both of the two players are not showing too much of damage output, especially with that Ella in there, and I definitely like that Juno. I actually was gonna say Hansel-lot on that 5th slot at Juno would fit very well, but on the other hand, Tito at Juno on that 5th slot fits very well, and probably also has to be banned out.
Let's see if it is going to be getting banned out. Maybe he's not as scared as the Zima, but he is in this case. Zima is taken out, so the mind games didn't work there. Both the guys taking in their 33% speed leads in the form of Vanessa and Oliver as we're getting into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 6, Set 1 between Tito Golet and Hansel-lot. That Yonghon is going to be taking the first turn today. Who's she going to boost up? It is to the Oliver to allow for some cool times resetting.
Oh, cool time resetting, but actually didn't fully land this skill in this process. But also an interesting one is that this Ren is not really fast. In most cases, Ren is actually picked as a Swift unit, but it could be that this Ren is actually either Despair or Violent.
Let's find out. We've got Ella coming in, putting immunity on the whole side of Hansel-lot right now. Shizuka maybe in an odd spot right now, knowing that Alima is coming up very soon with strips and her own buffs on her side as well. Can Vanessa look to get a strip as well?
Yeah, we're looking in a strip, and then we're looking into maybe a potential stun from that Ren. So is he gonna do that? He's gonna go for the Yonghong. Do you actually buff right now? Because all of the buffs that you land right now are going to be placed by the Shizuka later as well. But did manage to land it. Does not get a stun, is on Violent right now. Managed to get some absorbs maybe, plus Silence. Silence on the Shizuka would be very strong right now. Does not manage to land the Silence on Shizuka.
Yeah, and we know right now Shizuka, when she takes that next turn, she is like the memory foam mattress in order to pull up all the buffs on her side, but against the buffs on the side of Tito Golet, it's not going to work there, say. Ella as well coming out, that skill 3 can allow a cooltime decrease.
Yeah, but would you go for the cooltime decrease right now? Because, actually boosts up the attack bar as well. I forgot about that little part as well. It boosts up the attack bar and therefore also has all of the buffs on the field right now. And the Jianhong, it's not necessarily looking very lively at the moment, but it's looking like surviving. However, we have the Lima going in with skill 2, does not manage to land on the most important target and can't take it out.
Wow, managing to only get it on the Shizuka right there. Skill 1 is available, he's just putting damage into no one actually in the end. Yonghon taking that turn, and right now she's still protected with that invincibility, so she needs to get back online and a little bit healthier to do any damage.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's also smart for Tito to not go for the Yeonhong right now because everything has threat state. If everything is a threat, nothing is a threat until the threat is gone from some of the units. And then you can no longer hit that, so definitely smart to not be hitting that Yeonhong because otherwise you can't hit that Yeonhong for quite some time. Oliver in, locking in some of those damage on those stripper units, managing to not get them into any strips anytime soon.
Yeah, we can see that the threat state is still annoying right now. It's obviously going to be against that Yonghon, but she has immunity, plus she has invincibility, so nothing's going to be happening. But she's going to repay it with her own threat state, that's it.
Yeah, her own threat state does go in for some damage. Didn't do any of the damage at this moment, so we're definitely going to be looking at... We're kind of looking at like a full reset of a match. Like, we have a lot of cooldowns going on, but the HP bars are looking like as we started.
Yeah, there's still a lot of sustain on both sides of the field right now. So you've obviously got that Eshe, we've got Ella with skill 1 potentially, and allowing just more immunity on the side. That strip doesn't cycle enough for Lima at the moment.
Yeah, the Lima's not doing enough, and we also have the cycling right now with the Yeonhong. Yeonhong back into the Ella, Ella back into the Yeonhong. There's just so much healing, and actually one of the soundtracks that I haven't heard at all ever on that Ella, she's looking like... She's sounding like a funfair or something like that, and it actually does sound amazing. But something a lot stronger, we have a lot of buffs and a lot of debuffs. We can't even see the units anymore, as many buffs that we have on the field on the side of Yeonhong right now.
Yeah, and now Ella can follow up as well with that 4th skill coming through, just allowing more immunity and cool time for the whole team right now going down 1. He's going to be targeting that Lima to get her off the field.
Yeah, definitely the moment you take off that Lima, that's the big sustainer on the side of Tito Golet right now, but I don't really see a potential, just any kind of moment where Tito Golet comes in and actually can land any of his strip skills, which are definitely very crucial right now because there's just so many buffs going on the side of Hansel-lot.
And he's got all skills available right now. Is he going to look to boost someone up in order to get, again, another turn? Obviously, if he takes down that Lima, and the reset came in from Oliver on the Vanessa, so it's not going to be reviving. Oh, it's uphill battle, and look at all those threats.
Yeah, there's so many threat states, but just in general, so much going on the side of Hansel-lot. There's so much like back and forth between boostings and supports, giving each other extra turns to get up all of the buffs again, and it's just working out very well for him.
It is working out well right now. Going for that defense break on the Yonghon. We know it was a little bit squishy. He could take it down, but is he going to be able to get a turn of a skill 3 or skill from that Zen to take it out?
Yeah, the big issue is that there is an additional turn on the Shizuka, and we're going back for the same thing. And Tito Golet is like, I've seen this song once and twice. The third time I don't have to listen to it, and I'll skip the song for this one. Let's go into the next match with a victory of Hansel-lot.
Hansel-lot, really crazy tech then with the Ella, Shizuka, and the Yonghon, just allowing to take so many cool times, making sure they can get skills back up online. Oliver then being the one to prevent the other team from obviously getting online, resetting them wherever he possibly could. How do you think Tito Golet has to try and answer that? Does he go for a first turn?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, going first turn into Hansel-lot is definitely difficult, but on the other hand, if you give Hansel-lot the first turn, he will definitely run over you, like, pretty fast, so I'm not too sure what would be the right way of play. Definitely something like a pre-ban on the Yeonhong, maybe, which is the fastest unit on the side of Hansel-lot, might be a right play.
Yeah, he's gone for it right now, so he's going to see in this match 6, set number 2 of our Summoners War European League, if that can be the answer for Tito Golet right now. Is he going to be looking to lock in a more on that first pick? We saw before it was on the Via, deciding to steal the cigar instead. Ooh!
Okay, we see a Rahul once again showing some units that he's most likely not going to be locking in. But let's see what he does actually lock in. Does he go back to that Oliver? Locks in that or likes to look at that Chandra, not locked in yet. But what would he like to pair that with? Because the units that he normally pairs with, ooh, goes for an early Ella in this position.
Yeah, deciding to take the Ella, we know it, how useful it can be when it gets its skills online, allowing the cool times to be lowered for the rest of the team. Is he going to be looking to use a pushback team with it? Maybe a Chongpong? We've got an answer on the side of Tito Golet with a more speed lead, very strong units. They're still at 66% win rate, and the most picked monster in our Summoners War European League being 57 times.
Yeah, paired with that Nikki, which is just an overall very strong unit. So we're looking a lot more towards like a semi-bruiser is match in this position. But that's also where Hansel-lot can lock in that Han. It's definitely strong in this position, where we might actually see that right now. We do have a lot of the speed units off the battlefield. Like it could maybe still be like a Shizuka or a Sibala. But the Asher and the Yan Hong, we're not going to see him. We're actually going full into bruiser.
Wow, going with the Federica and going with the Diana there as well. Say, obviously with an Ella on the field, you can reset those cool times and hopefully try and get more snipes on the side of Hansel-lot. Tito Golet going for that Gianna, which was banned out in the last match right now. Obviously trying to do some sort of stuns at the start of the match. Who's he going to partner it up with?
I would definitely say something that also AoE CCs, because the moment that you can lock down the team of Hansel-lot, Hansel-lot is finally playing something that's a little bit slower on speed. So this is your moment that you have to play something more aggressive, and then you can see if you can make it on the back foot of Hansel-lot and then actually make it work. But Hansel-lot still has one unit left. It could be another passive unit. Actually goes for a Kunite? Wait, is that Kunite? No, wait, Kunite? I don't even. Yeah, that is Kunite.
We saw it last time as well.
Yeah, that is the Kunite, because the Malite is the wind one. So it's the Kunite. I'm still not entirely sure what it did. I think last time it did pretty much absolutely nothing.
It looks like he's going into Dragons for early players, but at the moment it has been banned out. We're not going to see it. Speed leads coming in on the side of both of Tito Golet and Hansel-lot as we're going into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 6, Set 2 between Tito Golet and Hansel-lot. That win for Obabo is going to be taking the first turn, followed up soon by the Nikki.
Managed to strip everything and is able to go for stunts. In this case, we're definitely going to be looking at the stunts. Probably starts off from the Diana. That is the most crucial target to stun. But then where does it go to, and does it land everything? Actually goes for the perfect cycle. Managed to land everything that's important. It's not going to be landing on that Federica, but definitely landing everything that's important. And he's going to be waiting with that cigar. Actually takes a lot of additional turns that he probably doesn't want at this position, but waiting for that reset. The moment that the reset is in, now you can freely kill that Federica as well. And we have the Nikki moving in pretty soon. That Nikki is going to do devastating damage. We have seen how much damage this will take. We'll definitely take out that Federica and also nearly clean out full battlefield on the other side.
Wow, so you could see he's just taking that control away from Hansel-lot, now allowing him to take a turn right there. Say that Wind Rover coming in clutch, getting all the pushbacks that he needs to, and allowing kind of a more patient play to allow Cigar to make sure of the fact that he could win there.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well played by Tito Golet, because the moment that he went in for the skills earlier than that, he would have been countered by the Federica. The Federica would have been able to do her skill, take out one unit. In this case, you just wait for the Cigar, you get the reset in, and then it's very well played.
Very well played there by Tito Golet, managing to get a point then against Hansel-lot. That's going to do him a whole world of good in terms of for the Summoners War European League leaderboard. For all of you guys, I've been saying it all the time, but make sure you're using command SWEL or EL in the chat in order to find out the latest results and how that affects the current leaderboard. You can see right there, say, just how much kind of the draft phase, how important that actually is, right? He kind of made sure that he was able to control from the very start and then could really put the damage into Hansel-lot without taking a turn.
Yeah, and that's definitely also what you see around all of this SWEL. People really like to go for that first turn, because if you go somewhat of bruiser units towards your first few picks, you're gonna be like run over by any of those good players. So, and all of them are good players. So yeah, I think everyone that's contesting for turn one, that's actually what we should look at. If you played the first turn, what is the percent win rate advantage on that one?
Nice. You give me more work to do over the little bit of off time for me, say, but I love it, and I'll be right back in 5 minutes to share it all with you guys. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Summoners War European League. We hope you enjoyed your little 5-minute break and you've prepared yourselves for the next 3 matches that are going to be coming up in the Summoners War European League. They are some very crazy matches and we're very excited to bring these to you, as well as all the players getting ready in the background to bring these to light, and let's see how they're going to end up. Say we've seen some great matches so far today. We actually had our first draw in that last match with Tito, Golet and Hansel-lot, but the trend, will it continue with 1-1 draws, or do you think there could be some more 2-0s popping around?
Well, to be honest, we have seen everything in all of those days, so it's very hard to predict if people go for 2-0s or 0-2s. I definitely want to see if Glorious can keep up with his streak, because in the end, he 2-0'd Hansel-lot, he 2-0'd Roid, or he 2-0'd against Obabo. Can he also do that against Roid right now?
Let's find out, because actually in the Summoners War European League leaderboard, he currently now sits 4th, say. So he's going to be up against Roid, who is in 3rd. So he's jumped up a lot of places at the moment. We were actually speaking as well there just quickly at the end of the break, where we're thinking realistically to get into those playoff positions, you're probably going to need around 10 to 11 points in order to make sure that you're through to the next stage of those playoff positions. And that's what these guys are all playing for right now. But obviously, the higher you get in that leaderboard, the better your seeding is going to be going into that playoff tournament. So all of these wins really matter right now. We're going into a crazy lineup right now. So it's going to be Glorious versus Roid. These two guys, for the past 2 seasons, have played each other a massive 32 times, with Roid currently winning at a 63% win rate against Glorious. So let's see. Hello? Who's calling? Oh, it's the Holy calling. I'll see you in this next match with Sham. Let's go into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 7, Set 1 between Glorious and Roid. Obviously, we know both of them have that same LD there, say, being the Shan. Do you think it could be pre-banned already, or are you liking more of a more ban in this instance?
I think we're going to see different bans. Yeah, we're going to see that more ban, we're going to see that Oliver ban. So we're taking out a lot of those speed lead units. We still have the Chandra in there that's probably going to be picked up by one of the 2 players. And maybe also Vanessa. We haven't seen too much of Sierra play today, so definitely I think we will be looking at like... Oh, actually first taking a Shan in this position.
Yeah, stealing that unit. Glorious coming in very quickly there with a response of a Cigar and the Chibu, taking away a strip and a speed lead on the side of Roid, which is obviously beneficial with a Shan. Gapso again on the side of Roid.
Gapso is definitely a more interesting right here, right now, against Glorious, because Glorious is most of the time not really showing too much healers, except for those really strong counter picks, as in those Veromos. But if the Veromos is already counter picked, he's probably not going to pick any healers to it. However, Roid is going to show a lot of healers with the Lucia, takes it away, but goes for Juno.
Yeah, Juno's currently very strong at the moment, 57% win rate with a lot of matches. Teo being potentially brought in. If you've got a Chimera, I've got his brother Teo coming in. How do you like that, say, as an answer?
I definitely do like it, because in this case, Glorious is saying a lot, I'm gonna play turn 1, and Roid is really saying, I'm gonna play turn 2. So Roid's gonna lock in probably 2 units with the passive right now. Leo, absolutely very strong, probably the band right there. But then he has to think about, okay, what is the other unit that he can lock in? That's probably also taking turns based on the passive. Could be something along the lines of a Gyu. I think a Gyu would absolutely be very strong in this lineup right here, but likes to go for that Lucia.
Yeah, so taking the Lucia, more healing. Ooh, now coming with the Kiara potentially. Not quite locking it in right now at the moment, say, but do you like that? And a snipe unit on the side of Glorious?
I think it's okay, but I think something that AoE stunts is probably a lot better, or just something that just instantly snipes something out, because we all know the Leo's going to be banned out. But in this position where you're locking a Sonya, you're probably going to be losing your Teora, and then I'm not 100% sure how that Sonya is going to be killing anything on the side of the field of Roid, except for just 1 unit.
It is being locked out, so Teo has gone. Leo has left the battlefield as well. We've got the Dark HP % lead on the side of Roid, the speed lead coming on the side of Glorious. In our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 7, Set 1 between Glorious and Roid. That skill 3 being used on the side there from the Wunter, but Gapso is going to respond and take a turn. Sonya's going to be following soon, say. Who does she snipe out?
Well, that's a lot and a lot of damage going on to that Sonya, pretty much leaving, like, killing all her health. She is able to nearly kill something on the side, but that's just nearly. You kind of have to go for skill 2 right now to actually go confirm that kill, rather than going for skill 3. But in this position, it's going to be the question. I definitely could see the Lucia and the Juno taking out all of the units on Glorious side.
Let's see right now. Cigar is going to be able to get the defense break, but like you said, Juno is going to be able to clear off that Sonya, so the big damage on the side of Glorious has gone right now. It's just about sustaining and getting Shan back online, but do you think he's even needed?
I don't think Shan is needed, because in the end, the healing is not really there. Like, sure, we have the healing from the Wunsa, which is actually an interesting one, countering a Wunsa with a Gapso, because Wunsa does heal on its skill 3 during the strip. Gapso take a turn, and then actually manage to capitalize on that, nearly killing the Sonya just a bit. But in this case, it's just Juno and Lucia against the world. Whatever Shan does doesn't really matter. Like, even if you take the Shan out right now, it doesn't really matter. This Juno's gonna do so much damage. It's gonna have that speed buff up plenty of times, hitting like nearly 2.6k. That's an insane amount of damage, while also not being able to get pushbacks. Like, all of those sleeps, all of those things that are going on right now, it really doesn't matter all too much. Juno's gonna take this match.
Wow, so you can see how strong the draft obviously was from the side of Pinkroyd there, say. It's something that obviously Glorious didn't think of when it came through to the actual banning and during that drafting itself. How do you think he's going to have to try and respond to this right now?
I think that it was mainly about the last pick of Glorious. Like, I think the first 4 units of Glorious were absolutely strong picks, but the last pick was not, like, diverse enough where it could kill, like, also the fire units that Pinkroyd could lock in. And he did lock in that Lucia, which was very well placed over here, together with a very strong Juno. It's just devastating for those turn 1 comps if they can't manage to kill anything.
Just so much damage. You love that S1 damage, say. There's more S1 damage coming out during that match. Pinkroyd has secured the 1-0 lead against Glorious in our Summoners War European League. That is going to maintain his spot, maybe even up into second on the leaderboard at the moment, currently. And Glorious obviously losing that point. It's broken his winning streak from today, but do you think he can reset and take a point against Pinkroyd?
I definitely do think he can, but he definitely has to be looking like, okay, where are my damage dealers? Because in this position, he didn't have too much of damage going on, except for just that Sonya, which was very easily taken out by the units on the side of Pinkroyd as well.
There we go. Glorious is pre-banned already there with the Etna, and the wounds are coming out on the side of Pinkroyd. How will Glorious look to respond? Is he also going to try and steal the Shan unit away early?
He could go for a Shan early steal, or he's probably going to be looking at that Oliver, but knowing Glorious, I definitely do think he likes his LD5.
Yeah, let's see if he does decide to lock it in. He doesn't want it in the hands of Pinkroyd, which is probably a normal thing. Wow, responding quickly with a more and a Kitan Dasheng, a very strong unit as well.
Yeah, definitely having a very high speed contesting from both players. We already have 2 speed leads on the side of Glorious with that Oliver and that Chiwu. We have a speed lead on the side of Pinkroyd with that Moore. Also an Asher being picked in. This is just an all-out speed contest. We just see very fast units on all kinds of speeds right now. And ooh, another speedy unit, but then you would be without strip. So I definitely do like the TL Lang in this position, but Glorious is slightly indecisive whether he likes the Ren or that's the TL Lang in this position.
It decides for the Ren in the end. They say we had it before with Glorious though, where he was contesting the speed in previous matches, then didn't have the damage through to follow with it. Is that something now Pinkroyd can look to answer in that respect with some damage on his side, which maybe needs to get banned out? The Meihu Wang we know can be very, very useful in those spots. How else would you respond?
I definitely do think that Pinkroyd is kind of looking at like a position where he bans out the Shan, or the Shan in this case, and then just goes for a bruiser unit in that 5th slot, because locking in a speed lead for him right now is probably less beneficial. So the big question is that Triton going to be able to push back everything? Ooh, actually bans out the speed lead on the right side, and we have the Brand being banned on the left side.
Here we go, we're getting into it. Our Summoners War European League Day 6, match 7, set 2 between Glorious and Pinkroyd. Can Glorious reclaim a point against Pinkroyd? Say he's going in with that skill 3, going to be looking to strip and get some pushbacks there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of pushbacks, and that's going to be cycling on quite a while. The only thing that cannot be stunned by the Shan right now is going to be that Meo Wang. So, ooh, managed to miss the first silence going in and managed to miss some of those stuns as well. The damage definitely going to be on that Meo Wang. If he manages to get that Meo Wang to not get any of the skills up, not too much stacking going up, able to absorb it, that's definitely very crucial for Glorious right there. We do have silence, so even if something procs out at this moment, it's still going to be reset for 1 turn.
Definitely is. He's got the second skill on Chiwu, can prevent any of the buffs, but with the silence, it's not going to prove so beneficial. Targeting that Meihu Wang
Yeah, the
It goes
Mayowank
down
is...
soon, say. The damage could be taken out.
There is still some stun going in, even through the glancing, so definitely Oliver still has to be looking at like, okay, I gotta reset these other units. We did manage to reset the first hit on the Light Monkey, so looking at that Monkey resets, but we have the Jean going in with an additional turn, going in with another Squall. Some good damage, but the Light Monkey is very tanky.
It's very tanky right now, and it's not being able to get boosted up by the Esche. Chiwi right now going into that Kitan Dashang, just trying to limit any of it taking any turn. And now Shan, can he stun? Gets all stuns. Whoa. And it's confirmed there. Glorious has taken that 1-1 against Pink Roid right there. That will keep him around the 4th spot in this Summoners War European League, say. So he decided to answer back to Pink Roid from that first set, making sure that he took that first turn, but did this time follow it up with enough control and damage, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where that junk came in so crucial. And that's also why it is his main pick, and therefore also a very good steal by Pink Roid in that first match. It was all about the Jean for Glorious, just getting that unit in, making sure it does enough damage. And in the case of that first match, there was just not enough damage to get rid of that Lucia. There was not enough damage to get rid of that Juno. And for that reason, he just couldn't get through those units. But the moment he has the Jean in, you can still lock in that Fire Monkey, but the Fire Monkey does actually kind of struggle against it because there's just so much damage going in. There's so much boost potential on the side of Glorious. And for that reason, even with units that potentially maybe not do that much damage on him, still is enough damage to take out that unit. And from there, it's just an easy drive. Oliver doing Oliver things, Jean doing Jean things, and therefore it is a victory.
There we go. He's managed to get 5 wins out of 6 today. That's boosted him straight up onto our Summoners War European League leaderboard. And it's going to do him a world of confidence as we're going to be very closely going into the playoffs very soon. And that's going to put him in a great position for that. Say, looking forward now to this next match, we do have Nicer Smiser versus Hansel-lot. Obviously, Nicer Smiser needs those points. He needs to get something right now. Let's find out as the 2 members of the infamous bunker. You know what they say, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. As we're getting into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 8, Set 1, between Nicer Smiser and Hansel-lot. Are we going to see a Cigar ban? Are we going to see an Eleanor ban? Let's find out, say.
Yeah, let's see on those. We're gonna see a Dumont ban once again. Nicer Smiser definitely does not like to play against those Dumonts. We see a Valantis ban once again. But Nicer Smiser is kind of in a position right now where we saw it with the last match that he did. He just went for an Ateris first pick. I'm not too sure what he's going to be locking in for these matches. Let's see what Hansel-lot picks up. Is he gonna go for that Cigar? Definitely does like that Cigar.
He does like that Cigar. Antares, again, it didn't quite work out in the last matches, but he's going to partner it with the Eleanor. Again, Nicer Smiser playing on pure chance. Let's find out if it can be enough against Hansel-lot. He has that Ella. Is he going to continue with the same tech? Oh, Han finally popping up for Hansel-lot.
Yeah, we have that Han with the Ella. The combination is very strong. We've seen it in like the first few weeks of the SWEL. There's just so many times simple solution going into that unit with that Ella being paired next to it. I kind of can see an Antares work against it, but I definitely would recommend Nicer Smiser to pick up. Like, if you're going down this right, I would say lock in a Gyu. Gyu is insanely strong in this position right now. It can do a lot of work for you. Nora, I don't think it's gonna do enough. He's just gonna cycle and kill you multiple times. So if you go down the route where you say like, okay, I'm kind of have RNG take my victory or not, I would also go double down on it. Lock in that Gyu, lock in like a Revenge Verdi, or lock in those units that can actually make it work. Whereas now you're kind of doing half and half, and that gives Hansel-lot a lot of options to come up with a very strong draft with it, with a Talisman that actually goes for a skill 3 into a skill 2 if he managed to take that kill.
Oh, hello. The name has just gone out of my head completely, say, the Dark Martial Cap.
Yeah, it's Emil. We actually did use it quite some in Siege Tournament as well. It's an interesting unit if you know your whole enemy lineup is gonna crit. But in this position, there's just 2 enemy critters right there. Cigar's most likely not gonna be critting, so I'm not sure if it's too great of a unit. And it was actually respected by Hansel-lot in this position, though.
And out with the Miho, with the Shizuka. We've got Antares with the crit rate lead. We've got the defense lead from Cigar. As we're getting into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 8, Set 1 between Nicer Smiser and Hansel-lot. These guys both need the points coming into this match. Cigar moving first.
Cigar moving first, but actually that Light Pony is being very fast moving afterwards, so does give a chance to bring up full immunity and everything. And I'm not too sure if that Talisman is gonna have too great of a skills right now. It could go for a strip. That's also the interesting thing about the Talisman. You could potentially strip right now rather than go for skill 3, but actually decides to go for full damage. Does do a good amount of damage, but now you do have a Han moving into anti-crit, which is not the greatest position for a Han.
Definitely not. And we know Nana is on the field, so there's still a revive available. Can she look to get some defense breaks on the other side? Maybe some stuns. 2 big stuns there.
That's actually very beneficial for Nice Smiser in this draft. Might actually be working out because we probably have an Antares moving anytime soon. We have a Masha moving anytime soon. We still have the Cigar trying to do something about that, but he can only lock out one of the 2 units. If the Antares would take a move anytime soon, or the Masha takes a move anytime soon, it will probably take out that squishy unit from a Talisman.
It will, but now Ella can put up some immunity on her own side of the field as well. Wow, that was a really nice noise that came in right there. Now
Yeah,
we've got
like...
Eleanor taking a turn.
Yeah, we had some of those units, when they take a turn, it's just so much up on volume compared to the other units, which is definitely interesting to see, but I would say that this draft from Hansel-lot would have had a lot more potential, but in the end it didn't really work out, I would say.
It didn't at the moment because obviously Nana has 2 stacks as well, so any of the units going down is going to be able to have 2 revives. He's going to probably target into that hand to get another orb, and then Cigar and Ella, strong but not strong together against these 4.
Yeah, absolutely not. And so far the Antares hasn't been doing anything this all match pretty much, but it did take that turn at that right moment. So was this really an Antares victory? I wouldn't say too much. It was more of the other units with the Nana just getting the stacks. The Talisman kind of being misplaced where the Talisman took a turn, could have been stripping that anti-crit. But yeah, I think it just all didn't work out too well what Hansel-lot had in mind.
No, there we go. Nice Smiser taking a point, which he desperately needed in this Summoners War European League. Maybe he can continue that momentum right now, or will Hansel-lot have something else to say as we're going into this match? It's twice now we've seen Antares' first pick there. Are we going to see a Hansel-lot pre-ban? Respect it out?
Well, it is an option to pre-ban it, but I think Hansel-lot probably rather pre-bans the Light Pony, because the Light Pony was like one of the core factors where the hunt just doesn't work, and banning that unit out definitely makes a lot of sense.
There we go. We've got the Talisman being banned out. We've got the Eleanor being banned out right now. This is going to do crazy stuff for my stats when I'm writing this down. Say, first pick for Nice Smiser, Antares. How much we betting?
I don't do gambling except for in the game, but yeah, you were right. I was stalling that one. But we have some LDs being picked up with the Salah and the Han on the side of Hansel-lot. That's pretty much throwbacks to what Hansel-lot was doing a lot back in SWC last year. A Josephine is actually a pretty strong pick into that as well. Once again, if you're going down this route, Gyu is absolutely a strong unit against those units that take a lot of turns, so...
Maybe also another one that's quite strong against it. Maybe it can get some revenge and stuns of its own. Obviously, Josephine on that field allowing any stuns that might come from Han's second skill or from the Salah. It's going to allow more turn cycling for the side of Nice Smiser. Doomman, a very nice response to make sure they can get an enemy off the field. Kavachi with a lot of immunity on that attack buff as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a very LD heavy draft on the right side against a very normal element looking side draft on the left side, which is definitely an interesting one. I definitely would say that Nice Smiser is already looking at like, okay, I probably have to ban out that Doomman. I do not like to play against that Doomman. So if he were to go for that Hey Gang right now, I definitely do think that it's actually kind of a strong pick right now, because it does provide those glancing, and every time that the Josephine picks up shields, we actually go for a Belial, which we haven't seen out too much in SWC or SWEL at all, I think at all.
Nope, I'm pretty sure that's the first. That's going to add to, I think, currently say it's around 130 different monsters have been used in the Summoners War European League. So a crazy amount, and now Belial has been added to that as well. Let's see how Hansel-lot is going to respond. This is a very heavy LD draft, like you said, and he has a lot in his box, but deciding to go for his favored unit in that Cigar. Who are you liking for a ban?
I definitely would say take out that Doomman, because if the demon dies with Curse of the Beautiful on it, then it's just done. So for that reason, it's not Curse of the Beautiful. Curse of something else. I forgot what it was. Curse of the Beautiful is from the segment. Curse of something else, but it's gone, so we're not gonna see it. I'm not gonna know it.
We're out of it, and it's going to be speed lead on the side of Hansel-lot with that Dark and the lead from the Fire Monkey as well coming in as we're going into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 8, Set 2 between Nice Smiser and Hansel-lot. This is maybe even an exhibition match for a lot of you guys. If you have these units, you can see exactly how they're going to be used right now. Getting the stun and the silence, but responded with a stun of its own there.
Yeah, a lot of stuns going to be thrown back and forth in this match, so definitely going to be curious to see like how that's going to fare. Also, that demon into a Cigar is not really going to do too much, so Yeah, it's going to be losing all of its turns. In this case, it has to be an Antares match if Nice Smiser wants to get anywhere close to a victory, I would say.
Right, Ella is going to reset the cooltime for that hand, so it's going to be able to do a third skill again. Is it going to look to finish off that Diana or use it somewhere else prior? Let's find out.
I would definitely say going for that monkey, so you potentially have less chance to get stunned, but it's still in revenge. You can get stunned at that moment as well.
Yeah, Ella coming out with the immunity, boosting that up on for the side of the field. The provokes are going to be coming in now from Cigar, and it's going to be helping to prevent that monkey taking a turn, but it has an answer of its own.
If you armor break that Cigar right now, oh, not an armor break, because that armor break into the hit from the demon could have actually taken out that unit. But Antares has something to say about that.
Oh, not quite enough to kill it just yet, though. Saying Salah is going to be coming in, blocking the heal block on that Antares. Ella coming around, more immunity, more cooltime down, allowing more skills to come through.
Yeah, definitely that Salah is making it worth with like the skills that he's locking in. The only thing about Salah is you can't really target where you're going to be hitting everything. Oh, we're getting a double hit instead of a triple hit from the Antares, not being able to kill that Cigar once again, and probably looking at being stunned right now.
Yeah, it's going to be stunned by the hand, which means that Nice Smiser can't take a turn at the moment. It's going to be followed up very soon with a Salah as well. He's going to reset that cooltime for a hand. We know the skill 3 damage can come through very soon. Getting the stun on the Belial as well.
Yeah, that was actually, the heal block was very well timed in that one, because if the heal block didn't land there, we would have had a 4 HP Antares, but instead we have a 0 HP Antares. And that is the victory for Hansel-lot.
Hansel-lot taking 1 point back against Nice Smiser in our Summoners War European League. It's going to do him a world of good on the leaderboard. We'll have a look a little bit later exactly how that's going to end things up for today's, for him specifically in the leaderboard. Obviously there, it was very much units that we've not seen so many familiar faces in the Summoners War European League, say, but you saw Salah there. It was very useful in this specific situation, right?
Yeah, Salah was, well, I would say it's one of those units, like, if it works, it's pretty nice, but it's very uncontrollable. So you do have that monkey going in with, like, stunning it back, like, instantly, like we saw in the first hit. Also, if the Josephine would be let through, it's something that's going to be, like, getting up those shields all the time, also stunning that unit. So I definitely do think that as an early pick, as that Hansel did it right now, it's kind of a dangerous unit, but it can actually work out with, like, getting the good enough stunts in, getting those silences in, but I would say it's still kind of dangerous.
He used it to great effect, at least during this match. And now looking forward to our last match of today, say it is going to be Tito Golet versus Obabo. These two guys actually haven't faced each other in the past 2 seasons. I believe on a stream a couple of weeks or days ago, I did see them fight off against each other. But in terms of the stats from the past 2 seasons, they've never played each other. So we're not quite sure exactly how, in terms of the favoured people going into this specific matchup. But these guys are hopefully going to put on a great show. Obabo is up into, I think, 2nd in the leaderboard at the moment. Tito Golet also hovering around that 4th and 5th position. So it's going to be interesting to see. They both have different versions of a Polar Queen as well. So as the storm rages on, which Polar Queen sister will finally let it go? As we're going into our Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 9, Set 1, between Tito Golet and Obabo. Say the pre-bans have been coming in. It is going to be the Hagan and it is going to be a Nikki.
So Nikki is definitely a good respec ban. The Hagan is actually something that Obabo has been showing a lot on his stream, but hasn't been using it that much during the tournament day today. So definitely going to be looking at, does he go back to the Chandra and the Asher that he has been first picking the last few matches? Or actually goes for maybe more of a steal with an Oliver first pick?
Taking away that Oliver, let's see if Tito Golet, we know he also likes to pick the Cigar and the Chandra around this with his Nikki. Is he going to already set up Bruiser? Oh, he's going for the moment with an Esche and that Cigar.
So Esche and Cigar is definitely nice units. It does kind of prevent the Obabo to go for an Escher together with an Oliver, because Oliver and Etna, it is definitely a possibility, but it is quite heavy on the wind picks already, which is definitely enabling Tito Golet to go more into like a Meowang right now. I definitely do expect to see a Meowang and probably even double fire at this position. You could go like Meowang Marsha, something along that line.
Yeah, you want to be dealing out as much damage as you possibly can against these units right now. Veligil was the answer with Etna for Obabo there. We know how useful immunity can be, and if it's going to be 3 turns, it's going to be quite a lot. Let's see who he's going to partner up with. Is he going to go for that Mehuang or another type of snipe unit? Going for a Juno potentially instead.
does go for the Juno. It's definitely somewhat of an interesting unit. The interesting thing about 3-turn immunity, if you have it on units like an Athena and Oliver, they cycle turns so much by themselves that they actually do run out of immunity pretty fast. So for that reason, an immunity unit next to those kind of units is often not as interesting. So let's see what Obabo goes for. Has to probably go for water units. Camilla is definitely a good unit to bruiser it out. Does he go to a Chow? We have seen Chow a few times, but that's where we see the monkey on the enemy side, and I definitely do think that the monkey fits there. Quick response by Tito with a Moor. I don't think the Moor is the right unit. Praha, I'm not too sure about that one as well. There's not too many strips on the side of Obabo though, so he could definitely maybe exploit that.
Let's find out. Maybe just mention there for you, say Camilla at the moment sitting on a 38% win rate in our Summoners War European League. Praha actually, from the French-Belgian players, was doing quite a lot of work in the previous matches, especially for Guts and Tito. Let's find out who they're going to be banning right now. Do you expect something along the lines of the Fire Monkey, or are you going to be taking out that Etna just because of how scary it is?
I would probably aim for that Athena. You have a few units to deal with the monkey, but in this case, still likes to take out the monkey. But I would say that the Athena currently, with that Marsha being banned, is going to be very deadly.
Let's find out Obabo taking that speed lead from Oliver. Tito Golet with the defense lead from Cigar. As we're getting into our final match today of the Summoners War European League. Day number 6, match 9, set 1 between Tito Golet and Obabo. Enna will be taking that first turn. She's going to go for second skill into third skill. Who's she going to look to stun?
Ooh, that is so much damage. Probably is going to instantly be taking out that Asher. Like, Asher's 12k. That's actually a high damage Asher in that position as well. So definitely doing a lot of damage over here. Also kind of in like an uncomfortable position because the Velaju is moving next. So let's see how the turn order is going to be looking like. Does the Pra move in front of the Cigar? It does. So we can look at strips right now and we could maybe reset the match. Does not manage to get that many strips.
No, the strips right there doesn't allow it to do any of the turn cycling with the sleep and allowing Cigar to come in. It leaves Cigar now. He's going to be going against immunity on the side, but does get the cool time and provokes.
So definitely some good provokes right there. We definitely look at a near-dead Athena as well. At least we have that provoke, so we can probably take out that Athena on just a skill 1 right now.
Oh, getting the additional turn to help there, say.
Yeah, definitely needed that additional turn. In this position, you could go for another skill 2 for just more strips and also getting a little bit of dot damage in. But now we're going to be looking at, oh, we didn't manage to get the freeze on that Pra, so Praba can actually do her skill still. She is slowed, however, but it will take a little bit longer, and we have a very good stun on that Oliver.
It is, and now he's going to set up a defense break on that Camilla as well. Velajuel's going to be hitting in the Praha, but it's not going to be so much right now. We know that skill 3 is coming for some more healing on the side of Praha. When do you need to use it?
I definitely would say use it as soon as possible. That was actually an interesting one to try to provoke the Velajuel right here, but it was probably like the double setup try to provoke it. But if you can take out this Velajuel right now while the other units are sleeping, it could be very beneficial for Tito in this position, because the Velajuel will go back with immunity pretty soon.
He's got provokes around. He's going to throw another, and it does get on that Velajuel again. So it's not going to be taking a turn on its own accord. And getting a stun from the Juno as well. Huge for Tito Golet.
Yeah, absolutely huge. It's definitely units with high defense and that you build around high defense. They're very susceptible to those oracles because you do have a lot of those multi-hits in. You have a lot of those additional damage in. And apparently this Juno likes to stun a lot.
Does, and he's targeting that damage Tito Golet into the Velajuel to get it off the field. Can Oliver and Camilla get online with the Cigar still around and provoking?
No, the provokes are just doing so much work, and the provoke also on the Camilla, like in general, Cigars are built on very low crit rate because that's just what you want to do, so you don't crit on those Camillas. You make sure that you don't get any of those crits in, they don't get any of the glancing in, and a Camilla is definitely a solo unit, but against this many units, it's going to be very difficult.
It is going to be difficult, but let's see exactly. Oh, he's already taken it. That is the confirmed win there for Tito Golet against Obabo in our match 9 set 1 say. So you could see right there, the damage didn't come through quite enough on the side of Obabo, and then he was a little bit controlled in terms of the stuns on the Velajuel, the provokes coming out, not able to take a turn on his own accord, right? How does he answer that in this next set?
Yeah, it's definitely that he was very controlled, and that's also the question between, is that Oliver, was it on Despair or was it on Violent? I'm not sure if I saw either of it from it, so I'm not too sure if it was either of those. But if it's on a Despair set, that's definitely when you're on the back foot. It's very hard to come back from that match, because when you're in the driver's seat, Despair Oliver, very good. But if you need that proc to get rid of your provokes or your stuns or anything like that, then a Despair Oliver is not going to do as much. And this is the first time that we see it in the SWEL. I have seen it before in SWC. We got a double ban on the exact same unit with Asher.
Yeah, Escher being banned out there. I think in the last time it was a double Lulu, right? In an SWC. Maybe Lulu and friends from quite a while ago. We've got now Hairgang being picked on the side of Tito Golet. How is Obabo going to answer? Looking at the moment, the Cigar, is he going to be looking for an Etna, or does he need to lock in a speed lead as well, say?
I definitely do think that he's probably be looking at speed leads. And I think, talking about speed leads, I think there was a double more ban between Pinkroid and Braxas back in like 2021 or 22 or something like that. But it's definitely interesting to see those double bans. But we see it back again at that Veladjul. I'm not too sure if I'm liking the Veladjul that much. I think Veladjul next to a Hairgang is insanely strong, but a Veladjul without a Hairgang feels a lot weaker. So in this case, we have Tito Golet looking at a little bit more Bruiser style. He could definitely be looking in a Masha or a Meowing together with that Nikki.
Yeah, but he's decided to go for the Marsha. We know that skill 2, the defense break, setting up a lot of damage coming in through the Marsha. Obabo now, how does he look to respond there? Is he going to be going back to his Chandras, or how are you seeing it, say?
Ooh, I'm definitely liking that Robo with a Han together. He probably has to lock in another Robo in that 5th slot if it so fits. But that's also something that Tito could be looking at right now. What would make it that it doesn't fit for him to go in with that Robo? Goes in with the Gianna, definitely an interesting one, because that doesn't really necessarily counter the Robo, because the Robo is definitely going to be outspeeding you. So let's see what he locks in for the last pick. Goes in for double Oracles.
I mean, double Oracles. Maybe he's listening to the English cast right now, so he knows that the Oracles are favored. Ooh, stealing that Etna instead.
Interesting Athna steal, so definitely Obabo. If he goes for a snipe kind of style of unit, I definitely do favor the draft of Obabo right now, because there's a lot of things he could snipe out, or he's probably going to be taking that first turn on that Robo.
Let's find out how it's going to work right now. Who are they going to be banning? There's obviously a speed lead on the side of that Han as well, if he wants to ensure it. There is high base speed units in the forms of Etna on that side, say. This is going to be all about mind games as we're going into this.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, because you probably have to ban something out that speed contest, but there's a lot of options doing that. Actually, the Han is gone, so there's going to be the question. The Sonya's going to be targeting the Gianna. Can the Gianna survive that or not?
Let's see if it's built to sustain a Sonya skill 2 as we're going into our final Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 9, Set 2 between Tito Golet and Obabo. It is going to be that Sonya say. Let's see if it does it.
Well, even if it does or does not, it doesn't really matter too much, because we have that Robo moving next, so that Robo is actually very fast as well. It does manage to kill something. Robo can go in cleanly with strips right now. We have the Veladjul going in with the immunity, or doesn't even necessarily have to, but it is the safer play. And then you just reset that Gianna, and the match is kind of over from here. And I would definitely say that whether the Sonya was being able to target that Hairgang rather than the Gianna was all dependent if that Robo was outspeeding the Gianna. In this position, it did, and therefore it was just a very clean draft, a very clean match from Obabo. We're not done yet, but I definitely do not really see Obabo losing this match at this position.
Yeah, let's see. Gianna with all of the provokes. Sonya is going to be able to do enough to nearly take her out, but she is going to be falling very soon as he's now targeting into that Marsha, and it's going to be Marsha against 4 of these units. Very well played from Obabo, knowing that he was fast enough to maybe follow it up. Marsha's trying to have something to say to take out a unit, say, but it is going to be it for the Summoners War European League Day 6, Match 9, Set 2. Obabo reclaiming a point. I think that will put him at the top of our Summoners War European League leaderboard, but we'll have to find out. And for all of you in chat, make sure you're using the command SWEL or EL to find out the latest of the leaderboard, because it is going into next week, which will be the last week of our Summoners War European League in terms of the actual leaderboard itself, they say. So you were saying, Obabo obviously knew his speed, knew his strengths going into that, and very well drafted in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the interesting thing. Like, that last game was all about, like, who's gonna take that first turn. If that Gianna somehow took that first turn, was fast enough to outspeed the whole team of Obabo, then the match would have been like 180 degrees completely different, because then the Gianna would have AoE been able to be a stun. If it connected all of those, match would have been over on the other side. But Obabo trusting his speeds, also having that Robo, like the Dark Robo is often the question, like, is your Dark Robo on Despair, which is the most common build, or is it actually on Swift? And in this position, I definitely do think it's on Swift, because Giannas in most cases are also on Swift. So for that reason, it's kind of the mind game. Like, okay, the Sonya is probably going to be taking out someone. I think the Sonya definitely would have been able to take out the Gianna as well. But since that unit is a little bit faster on speed, maybe wouldn't have been able to work. But in the end, Obabo knows what he's doing, and it has been showing in that second match with that victory.
Exactly. And for all of you guys that have been with us watching, we obviously yet again have something for you. We are going to be showing you right now all of the current matches that have happened. In the end, it did end up being a lot of 1-1s in the end, say. So we saw the 2-0s coming all the way through and now all the way down to the 1-1s. Wow, what a crazy line of matchups that we had today. Obviously, some very big performers and some big jumps in terms of on the leaderboard. Glorious coming in with 5 set wins out of 6. That's going to do him a world of good as we're going soon into the actual playoffs as well. And obviously for the other guys, just gaining those extra points was so important and crucial during this specific Summoners War European League Day number 6. Now, obviously, like I said, that's not all that we've just got for you. We haven't just got the actual stats of what happened during those matches. And I'm pretty sure we can share with you, you'll find it in chat very soon, our coupon code, which we're going to be sharing with you. It is Swell One More Week. So remember, guys, we've got one more week of Summoners War European League happening on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. It should be there for you all to see. And during that time, make sure you're having a look at our leaderboard. Use the commands SWEL and EL. Find out who's playing in those last matches. There's still all to play for. Like we were saying, we think probably around 10 to 11 points is going to guarantee you into those qualified sections. So the guys like Angel, Adri, Hansel-lot, Smiser really need to get points in order to get higher up into those top 8 positions because it's needed. If you haven't already, it should be in chat right now. There is the event coupon, Swell One More Week, because we've got one more week. And crazy enough to say as well, next week we've actually got 12 matches rather than 9. How excited are you for that?
Yeah, definitely going to be excited because everyone's going to be playing 2 matches. So if we looked at the leaderboards that we saw just now, it's going to be just 4 points from that maximum. So if the people that are at 8 points right now, if they probably have to take like at least like 3 or 4 to get to the playoff position. And also for the players that are all the way on the top, they can still check out like, okay, how many do I have to min-max? Like who do you have to play against to actually get those matches in and get enough points? And it's also going to be a longer day for us because this is going to be the lineup of next week, which is a lot of matches.
Yeah, you're going to see absolutely everyone from this Summoners War European League. They're all playing the matches. There's some crazy matches right there. So I think, to be honest, it's probably going to dictate a little bit further into that league day of actually which matches become a little bit more crucial than others to get those points. People, depending on where they are on the leaderboard, and we'll keep you guys up to date. Any other standouts for you?
Well, I would definitely say we have an Obabo pink Roid. That's the one that caught my eye in the middle match 6 over there. That's always fireworks. That's always what we would like to see for like SWC finals and that kind of stuff. So gonna be looking forward to that match. But also I'm looking more towards the people that are around like rank 8-ish. So we have like Rex, as I saw him standing on rank 8. He has to play Pavix, he has to play Sam B Seb, which are already like more on a comfortable spot of being placed. So that's definitely some of those players that I'm looking at like, okay, can they actually make it on that last weekday?
Exactly. There was Angel and Adri, the first match of that league day as well. That is literally, if you can get 2 points there, you could jump a lot of places in order to get into those qualification spots. So remember, we are going to be here again for one more week at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday. And then we'll tell you next week exactly what's going to be happening for the playoffs, because it will be a different day and it will be some different times. That's purely because we're playing the different format with some best of 5s, a best of 7, and we'll get through into that as we go along. But for all of you guys, I hope you really enjoyed this week's Summoners War European League. That's going to be a big thank you from me and from you, Say.
Always a big thank you.
Thank you very much, guys, and we shall be seeing you very, very soon. Next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. Be here.
See ya.